people go. Learn to make it on my own. It's easier for me to be alone. So how are you? Keep cutting through, claiming you're not like the other guys. And only if I could give you a chance, show me that you mean it, we'll feel some type of way.
Welcome to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You are joining us for our coverage of PlayVS Collegiate Overwatch. Boise State has had quite the record in this semester. They are one of the 4 undefeated teams left in the bracket, and they are going up against a titan in Overwatch. That is going to be Northwood. And so you are definitely going to want to see how this match plays out. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd. And Brenner, oh boy, now we're really going up against the Titans here. Northwood, one of the top universities, made the top of the Overwatch NACE coaches poll multiple times too. So Boise State really has a lot going up against them.
Yeah, for sure. We've definitely had our long-standing rivalry with Northwood, and as we've played against them in so many tournaments over a long period of time, and coming down to pretty much the wire here with PlayVS, with only 4 undefeated teams left in this week's matches, us being one of them and Northwood being another. So this match is definitely going to be down to the skin of their teeth for both sides, because these teams are playing to win.
Well, let's take a look at the event tonight and the overall rules. This is PlayVS Overwatch, Boise State versus Northwood. It is going to be a best of 5. We're going to start out on Control, then go to Assault, Escort, Hybrid, and then Control again. The higher ranked team will pick the first stage, and then the loser will go on from there. Overall, though, I was talking about the standings. Boise State, one of the last 4 undefeated teams in PlayVS. And of course, when you're undefeated, that means you're doing pretty good, but we can always use a refresher to be even better, and that comes to us in the form of Doc's Keys to the Game, brought to us by Drop In Gaming. And Drop In Gaming will present Doc's Keys to the Game in Overwatch, and that is to never take a fair fight. That means to take fights in unexpected places when the opposing team is unprepared, and of course take advantage of any tempo you can get. Talk to us a little bit, because we've been talking about so much over the past few weeks where Boise State can take fights where the other team might be unprepared, but to explain us a little bit on that concept of tempo.
Yeah, so we definitely see a lot of teams now play around their Lucio. You know, the current Overwatch meta is a lot of high-speed supports with some pretty anchoring tanks to hold that front line so your DPS can succeed. So we're going to play a lot of Overwatch with that Lucio. We see a lot of Baptiste as well. We want those high mobility supports, so that tempo allows you to take fights in unexpected places when they're unprepared. So I definitely think tempo is the most important of Doc's keys that he pulls out for both sides, especially. So having that Lucio speed boost and micromanaging it definitely shows you the high skill level of these players.
Well, let's take a look at the stage once again to see the Broncos who are going to be in this match. And also, that'd be a great time to bring up our opening lineup. That's brought to you by Count. Count Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands. There you go. We're taking a look at the stage. The opening lineup is going to be Plato, Kel, Gob, Maxo, Large Bagel, and Chosen. And I don't know. We've talked about this team for so much, Brenner. But is there anything that we haven't covered with these 6 fellas that you might want to bring up?
That's definitely a hard thing to bring up, especially, like you said, we've been talking about them all season long, and they've been performing phenomenally. They just had their first loss last week, and so heading into this PlayVS is that they're still undefeated, and there's still so much high expectations for this team and with how well they've been performing. And with the scary beast that is Northwood that we're heading into, they definitely are going to have to come together to pull out a win here, especially with this being our A-team roster. We do always have the subs on standby in case of need be, but this A-team is going to have their work cut out for them tonight.
Well, we are going to wait for the first choice of stage to be brought up. It is usually predetermined, and Boise State has been starting out a lot on Lijiang Tower, but we did see Busan last week. So overall, in terms of Control matches, do you see us going with those 2, or would you like to? Well, I know you're always saying map variety, so what's one that we haven't seen in terms of Control that you'd like to see?
Volskaya.
That's Assault. I mean, Control.
Ooh, dang it. Oh, that hurts. Ooh. I actually do really enjoy the Busan pick. Even though we have seen it, it's not something we've seen very consistently throughout this season. We've seen a lot of the Lijiang Tower. We've seen Nepal even a couple times.
Oasis we haven't seen.
Oasis? No, we have seen Oasis once. We've seen it once. We've seen Ilios twice as well, actually. So we have seen the variety of the Control that it offers. And I would definitely enjoy to see that continue forward. So even Ilios would be great because we know Boise State loves their environmental kills with the large bagel on that Lucio, getting as many boops as possible. So going back to the Ilios well would allow him to do that. Same with Nepal with the Shrine map, having that entire side point to knock him off. I definitely enjoy that. We see a lot of Lijiang Tower, which has kind of been the staple map for a lot of these teams. Busan now slowly coming back into the picture, as we saw with the TESPA League last week. So any of the control maps can honestly play in Boise State's favor, because as this is such a high-ranking team, being undefeated, you have to be able to play on all of them.
Now, what do you think? We saw kind of an uncharacteristic loss from Boise State last week. So what do you think was the main thing that was sort of plaguing them when they lost their first match of the season?
I mean, it was a hard fight. The opposite team did absolutely phenomenally, and sometimes when it just comes down to pure skill, the enemy team beats you out. We did see them have a lot more cohesive plays. When they won the first time around, they had a bit more unorthodox team composition than we're used to seeing. And even when it came to a mirror map or a mirror match, they just had the better coordination and the plays in their lineup so that they could beat Boise State whenever they try to come back with a counterattack. And with the stalling, we saw them just pushing right up to the spawn, which Boise State is traditionally doing a lot. So having those, you need to be able to, coming right out of the gate, have a plane of attack rather than constantly straggling in or getting taken out in rotations. So definitely guarding your rotations is #1 key, I would say.
Well, one thing that Doc was kind of talking to the team last week about, kind of when they after they did lost, was he was noticing that the communication between the team, you know, wasn't quite where it was. There was a little bit too much of kind of focusing back on what went wrong in that last fight, when Doc is very clear, and a lot of, you know, top teams are saying, you know, you can't look back. You can't have, you know, with the exception of reviewing VODs, of course, when the game is actually going on, you really can't look back. You have to be looking forward to see what is happening up next. Of course, we have a lot of stuff going on here at the arena. That's just a quick look at some Smash that is being played. We host a lot of local organizations, so if you're interested, you're going to want to go to esports, boisestate.edu/esports, find out more information about where we are at the arena at the corner front and Capitol, and we have a lot of events that we host here, including, actually, this would probably be a good time to just do a quick little shout out to the Halloween event that is going to be on the 30th. We're going to have a lot of different games, some costume competitions, and we want everyone to show up if they can. So just a quick little shout out to that. There will be fighting games, Among Us, much more cosplay, food, and prizes. You are not going to want to miss it. That's on October 30th from 6 to 10 p.m. You can go to tinyurl, that's a little bit of a typo there. It's not tinyurl, it's tinyurl.com/esportshalloween. Fill out the RSVP form. Let us know that you're going to be there, and we will see you this weekend. So anyway, I was saying a little bit earlier, you know, that is kind of something that you don't really want to do too much in Overwatch. You know, you don't want to be focusing on the past and what went wrong. You want to be constantly focusing on how you win the next fight.
Yeah, and I know, as you touched on, the communication for Boise State has been a bit of an issue, because once a player is eliminated, sometimes they might just try to add on to the callouts and being out and dead, or just try to talk about how things went wrong when the team fight is still going for the other players. So you have to have the restraint of when to talk and when to not, because once the team wipe happens, then you can have a bit more of that fun, playful banter, because at the end of the day, we are playing a game that is made for entertainment, so you want to have fun playing these competitive sports as well. So finding that mixed balance is definitely a hard thing to do, especially when you're playing with, you know, a group of friends that you've been training with for multiple seasons and playing with as well. So once you get that cohesion going, it's hard to know when game time is and when fun time is, for sure.
Well, it looks like we are just about ready to load into the lobby. We will find out what is going to be first in the choice of stages. Of course, in PlayVS, if my memory serves me correctly, I think TESPA was the one to break kind of the standard of Lijiang. On PlayVS, it has been pretty standardly Lijiang almost every time.
Yeah, in the past seasons, they started with Oasis, as we've mentioned in the past, and Lijiang, like you just said, has always been kind of the industry standard, as it has been the most teams' favorite map.
There we
and
go.
as we take a look at it, it is going to be Lijiang. So which of the three will be the first? Typically, we see Night Market a lot of the first times, because we know both higher level teams, everyone loves playing Symmetra on Lijiang Tower. She has definitely been a staple character for the meta at this point in time. We also see a lot of Junkrat and a lot of McCree in case they try to go for a cheeky tracer, you know, more high mobility dive composition. But we've also seen Boise State run with the Bastion. So anything to throw your competitors off by, you know, that slight off meta pick. Already we're going to see that Echo and Wrecking Ball right off the bat along with the Sigma. So it looks like they won't be going for the traditional more Diva Rhine comp.
Will be interesting because it is such a rush initially to try to get to the first point. Both teams usually are trying to race each other in terms of speed.
Yeah, and as I touched on earlier, Lucio with the high mobility supports and tempo from Doc's keys. The speed is how you choose to engage. You want to take it when it's unexpected, so you want to engage the fight. If they're engaging on you, you usually have the back foot unless you're able to get that early elimination and be that +1 in the fight. So it is very much down to the execution from the supports and the tanks of, here's our target, all right, we're speed boosting onto him and going from there. Or in our previous match, we saw the McCree-May composition come up, the more traditional that we've seen a lot in the past that has been so consistent in the Overwatch meta, of where those May Ice Walls determine everything. Because if you wall off that Reinhardt and are able to burn him down, they lose that front line tank, and then that instantly allows you to capitalize on it and win that team fight. And winning the first team fight is so key for so many teams because it allows you to get that step up and have that confidence to keep pushing forward and secure the point and take space so you can have advantage for the next team fight.
Well, you talk about the speed of Lucio just really being a top speed, but one thing that we can't count out is just, especially when a large bagel, you know, Lucio is kind of his main. We see a lot of those environmentals, and Night Market does give us a little bit of an opportunity to see some of those environmentals.
We love to see them. They're the best thing that goes on in Overwatch, especially when it happens to something like a Diva that has boosters on her mech and she still falls, or even a Wrecking Ball who doesn't have the grappling hook off cooldown. So the boops are definitely something we love to see, especially if we went to something like the circle part of Lijiang Tower that isn't Night Market, where we see so many boops, and even the Roadhog come out occasionally for the extra hooks. But at the same time, we rarely see the Pharmacy come out for those boops, as her damage output compared to others just haven't been as good for holding the points, as she can be countered so easily more and more these days. So Lucio is definitely going to be the key player for both teams in this matchup, I believe.
Well, we are just waiting. Might have just been a quick little network issue, but we will be getting back into that match on Lijiang Tower as soon as we can. Once again, to recap, this is Boise State versus Northwood. Both of these teams are undefeated. There's only 4 left in the whole play versus bracket. Northwood, one of the top Overwatch programs, the Timberwolves versus the Broncos. We will see how the Broncos hold up as they go against one of the toughest teams in the nation. We are just still ready and willing to get into the match once we can. It's going to be Lijiang Tower. Looks like Night Market was going to be. We talked a little bit about Night Market, but tell us a little bit about the other two. There's Garden and the Tower itself, actually.
Yeah, so we typically see Tower a lot in between the two matches. Very rarely do we start with it, and when we do, it is very much push up into their spawn so you can hold that front archway, because then they have to go all the way through the left if they want to try to avoid environmental kills, as we've spoken upon so many times. And then Garden is the one that I briefly touched on, of the control point in the center and 2 just open areas on either side of it to have just those boops and environmental kills come out. So it is very key to have those high mobility teams, so in case those environmental kills are attempted, you can recover from it and continue the fight. Because we know, as a staple of Boise State, even if they are down a member, you can still not count them out from the fight. They play until the last man, especially on control, where even contesting, as long as you have control of the point, you're going to get that percentage, which is value no matter what. So we're going to see a lot of trickling if it comes down to those overtimes of contesting the point the best they can. So it looks like we are going to go right into Night Market now, with the Symmetra teleporter coming right out.
Looks like Boise State has managed to get to the point first, so they can set up a little bit of defense. Gob is going to be the first one eliminated there, as N2S is going to get the pick, followed by Dynasty. Even though Boise State got to the point first, it does not unlock. So I don't know if they're actually going to be able to capture it. It's some great work from Northwood's DPS. It's just going to tear right through Plato, Kel, and Maxwell and send Boise State back to start.
Yeah, we saw Gob try to re-engage with the Tracer as quickly as possible, but with that Mercy Echo combo on top of the high DPS coming out from the Ashe, it is a hard thing to recuperate from that fight, especially when Echo's just going to poke you from coming out of spawn. It is not what you want to see, especially with Gob on the McCree, only one able to counter that Echo. So heading into this next team fight with the teleporter, they need to target that Mercy.
See how well they can do. It actually is Dynasty who's going to be targeted first. Boise State goes up one in this engagement. As Kel pushes onto the point here. Amplification Matrix thrown down by Landon, who is fighting back to take out Gob, Maxwell, and Chosen. This Echo is getting way too much mileage from Northwood. Boise State doesn't have the numbers. They are just going to fall off the edge and reset.
Yeah, Northwood playing phenomenally and definitely playing with their strengths of that Echo Mercy. We saw them fighting off the map, so no members of Boise State could try to contest other than just a bit of poke damage from firing what shots they could land. So going into this next fight, we're going to see the Gratific Flux, the Valkyrie, the Duplicate, and the Amplification Matrix opening up from Boise State.
Gratific Flux is going to catch a large bagel out, and without that support and speed, Boise State is going to have a really tough time pushing onto the point as Gob and Chosen are eliminated. Boise State has to reset again. The key thing is that that timer is ticking up slowly, already past 70% for Northwood, so Boise State is going to really have, I think, 2 opportunities left to try to get this.
Yeah, and those 2 opportunities are what going to make the difference, as Gob on this McCree is just now getting Deadeye online, same with the Photon Barrier coming right out to start this team fight off.
There goes Valkyrie, also used by Lep. There goes the Deadeye, brought out by Gob. Isn't going to get anyone. It's going to be N2S who snipes him out before he can use it. There goes Photon Barrier and beat from Maxwell and a large bagel, trying to get any sort of defense to Boise State as they have managed to push onto the point. There goes a shatter from Plato. Isn't really going to do much. Dynasty is taken out, but that's Bob, not Dynasty himself. So Boise State really only has a Bob to show for it as Ashe takes out Plato. Landon and Dynasty going to be eliminated. This could be Boise State fighting back, especially with Chosen taking out N2S. Boise State might have been able to find a little bit of life, but Chosen has to stay on this point. He gets taken out now. 3 Broncos, now 2 left on the point as Lep gets a double. Look at this battle, Murphy, from Northwood. Look at Lep, player of the game already. We love to see those battle mercies coming in clutch, and Northwood looks like they're going to get this.
Yeah, now it's just holding Boise State at the door, but it looks like Kel might be able to get the final touch, and he's gonna get it with Maxwell. Quickly followed behind, but a large bagel taken out by the N25 with the beam as well.
Yeah, it's N2S takes out a large bagel. Maxwell eliminates N2S. Kel is going to remac. That's going to allow him to stay on the point for a little bit while longer. They're trying to get rid of Lep, but he is just unstoppable. They take down Dynasty and Calman. Boise State with just 99 is trying to capture this point. They cannot let Northwood keep possession of it, and that wrecking ball is just going to go away. I wonder if Boise State is going to be able to take him out. Yes, that's a good stagger. That's a good start for Boise State to defend.
As soon as Gob got on this Doomfist, it definitely turned the tide in their favor as he was able to get into that back line and execute it much better. But now with Lep on this Lucio, no mercy for this Echo. Echo is at the disadvantage here if they're able to constantly output the damage onto N25, who has just been a problem for Boise State. As going into this team fight, we're going to see Maxwell get the first elimination.
What a great elimination it is, and he is focusing down Dynasty. Gob isn't able to take Dynasty out and is going to find himself stopped by SNZS, and there goes Plato with that Earth Shatter. Pulse Bomb also thrown out by Maxwell. Large Bagel taking out Dynasty. Lep also eliminated. Landon throws down his Amplification Matrix, but it's a little bit too late for Northwood. We see Lep switching back over to that Mercy, maybe to help N2S on that Echo, because it seemed to be working out so well when they had the Mercy pocket. SNZS takes out Plato. Calman eliminated too, as Landon answers that back by taking out Gob. It is back and forth. Large Bagel and Chosen throwing down their ultimate. A crucial res onto Calman. Boise State is going to have to deal with that. Reinhardt just swinging right into Chosen, able to take him out. I don't know if Boise State is going to be able to hold this. They made such a great effort, and they're going to continue to do it right now. Can one of them at least get onto the point? They do have 2 members on the point as Maxwell guns in for reinforcements, and N2S is going to be able to take out Plato as Gob eliminated by SNCS. Boise State is just having just any sort of hope, any sort of prayer right now, but Maxwell is eliminated. That could be the last for the Broncos here, and a huge deep up from Cal is just going to be a little bit too late, but what a great effort from the Broncos.
Yeah, that was a nail biter. They got up to 95% on that point with just so many team fights continuing into the next one's just so little time to breathe. So I'll give you a second as I try to take over, heading over into the tower itself. Northwood played that phenomenally. Boise State put so much pressure on Mercy, and she stayed alive for way too long. So good on Jeff for being able to just have that god tier Mercy play. And even as Battle Mercy, able to get a triple by himself. Absolutely phenomenal plays from both sides, as we saw with Cal getting that 3-man bomb right at the end as well. So Northwood giving Boise State a run for their money right now, but Boise State definitely has the chance to come back if they're able to get that target priority and dish out the damage when need be, especially keeping Plato and Kel have the best they can on the point so that they can absorb that damage for the DPS as we head into the next team fight.
There goes Kel taking out the Immortality Field. A little bit of defense gone for Northwood. Look at that huge charge right into Plato, but Cowman is going to pay for it as Chosen takes him out. Boise State still maintaining their position on the point. Doesn't look like it's going to be same situation that they had on Night Market. Boise State is maintaining their position here. Zen2S is taken out. Look at that boop, though, from left onto Gob. That is going to even it up somewhat, but Boise State does look like they are able to take the point in this first engagement.
Yeah, the near mirror match happening between these two teams, minus the Maxwell on the Symmetra and Dynasty sticking to this Ashe that he has just been so gone with N2. I'm now opening up on this Doomfist, going straight in on Kel, quickly followed by SZNS. So Boise State's gonna have to go for the regroup here, as the Ultimate's still only having that amplification matrix. They use the Symmetra teleporter to at least get across, but he's going to give up that ult percentage to head over to the McCree to try better counter this Doomfist that has been such a problem for the backline. So we are getting closer to that mirror match right now.
Landon throws down his amplification matrix. There goes the minefield set out by SNZS, but it is going to be Boise State. Their support's getting two, taking out Landon and Cowman. Boise State now just going to waltz right over onto the point, capture it without that much of a fight from Northwood. Looks like Northwood is going to reset.
Yeah, target priority on those tanks definitely gives you the front line to push onto point, and a great early elimination from Kel onto SNZ, but it looks like they're going to open up with their own shatter against Boise State.
Yeah, SNCS was sticking on the point a little bit too long for my taste there. Look at that left with the Lucio trying to take back the point. He is just going to run away, and Plato is going to hold down the point. Look at Maxwell, though, with the swap over to Cassidy, getting a double there, almost with the Deadeye available. Boise State is going to go past 40%.
New Cassidy name still throwing me off, because McCree is no longer, but it looks like Boise State's going to open up with that Meteor Strike so Gob can survive, as he is at the half HP, as well as Plato's Shatter and Kel with the rematch. Heck, Northwood's not looking good at the start of the fight, as so many ults have been committed already.
Yeah, Plato definitely wants to show who is the better Reinhardt here. We do have multiple members of Northwood just trying to funnel onto the point to capture it in sneaky ways. And it is contested, though. Cal going very low on health, needs to remech back up, but isn't going to be able to do it as Landon focusing down. Gob is going to get a little bit of payback for that, as Boise State is going to find some, mostly even with Northwood now down one, as Cowman takes out Gob. Boise State still managing, though. Key thing is that they are running up the timer and past the crucial 80% mark. As Maxwell takes out Dynasty is there. Chosen throwing down his amp matrix. Maybe a little bit too late in that engagement, though. They still managed to keep the point, though, and that's probably just to buy time. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's anything to apply pressure and keep them off the point, allowing the Boise State to secure and start getting that percentage towards 100 with Northwood only at the 36%. And heading into this next engagement, they only have the Transcendence from their Lucio that they swapped over to. So Boise State's going to open up with their own sound barrier.
There we go. It is ticking towards 100% here as we enter overtime. High Noon brought out by Maxwell. Is it going to get anybody? Doesn't look like it. So he gets the Orbit Discord placed onto him. Now N2S is going to have his opportunity at High Noon. Taken out once again by a double Diva Bomb. But is it enough, though, from Cal? Cal coming into the late game with these huge Diva Bombs. But is it going to be enough this time? Well, with the help of Plato and Chosen taking out Landon and Dynasty, it looks like Boise State is going to at least manage to keep this, because Northwood is trickling in right now, but the spin to win from the Wrecking Ball could be enough for the Timberwolves as reinforcements go in. They throw out the minefield right on the point, and a Meteor Strike as well, as Gob goes back to the point. SNCS taken out as Cowman gets rid of Gob. It is back and forth. Boise State does not want to give up this point. Huge pick onto Cowman, but Plato in a large bagel with them eliminated. And Cal, I think the Timberwolves finally have it.
Yeah, a hard-fought victory to win that point, sending Boise State back. They played that phenomenally. Gob using the Meteor Strike to get absolutely just deny the Wrecking Ball mines from the point to just buy them as much time as possible as Maxwell does the swap over to the McCree that he was doing much better on than that Tracer. So heading into this next engagement and losing Gob so early on, Boise State might just have to play on their back foot.
They just might, and it's very crucial as Landon, his Transcendence goes online, so anything Boise State pushes on to Northwood is going to be delayed for a few moments. But they did manage to take out Cowman and even it up as Boise State does look like they are back up to full strength. Look at Kel trying to focus down Landon here and is able to do it with the help of that boop from Large Bagel. Plato takes out NCS, and with Dynasty going away as well, Cowman is very low on health, trying to keep this going, but the overtime clock is ticking down. Boise State manages to take it in a close second match. We're going on to 3.
Yeah, one of the few times we've made it to map 3 for Control, as they like clean sweeping so consistently at this high level of play. But this match is going to go the distance. I can almost put my money on it, especially after that display from both teams. Northwood came out so strong on map number 1 for this Control lineup. And then map number 2 was Boise State's, as they had the inside advantage, didn't have to deal with that Echo Mercy. And it definitely seems Northwood has been perfecting it, as that was their mainstay on the first map. So heading into this Gardens point of Lijiang Tower, I can definitely see the return of that Mercy verticality combo.
Yeah, Northwood, it worked out so well for them with that Echo. We'll see what they bring out here. Wrecking Ball still going to be used by Northwood as Boise State pushes onto the point, still with the Ryan Diva. And here we go. We're going to see a lot of crazy Lucio play, I bet, here with these top 2 teams, and you know Large Bagel on that Lucio. We will see how many boops we can get here as Gaba switch back over to Cassidy here, trying to stop any sword. Look out for Cowman, though, I have to say, on that Wrecking Ball. Might be able to get a few environmentals with that hook as well, but Boise State getting the first pick with SNZS there. Chosen is going to be hacked there, but is going to recover. Boise State manages to get onto the point first, but can they hold it? They are getting pushed in from both sides by Northwood here, and Cowman with a great punch there is going to take out Plato. And there goes Chosen throwing down the Amp Matrix, trying to get more of a presence on the point there. Zen2S charges up, throws out the Pulse Bomb when he is very low on health, manages to recall and heal back up as left with a boop onto Gob. He's going to take Boise State out of it. I don't think Boise State can get the first fight here, but they are definitely trying. The Cowman on this Roadhog is certainly becoming a problem very, very quickly.
Yeah, Maxwell on the Symmetra has definitely been doing his best to try to match the damage output coming from Northwood, but with a great whole hog is going to be able to get 2 environmentals for the side of Northwood. So Boise State's finally going to have to go for the full reset as Northwood caps the point. So going to this next fight already, they're so close to that EMP, but taking them out is going to buy them that much more time. So good on Boise State, able to recognize that, and they're going to immediately have to speed right past this amplification matrix, but it looks like they are not going to make it as Landon gets a double.
Yeah, Boise State, unfortunately, might try and be going for a soft reset. They do not want to stagger here, but look at Landon pushing up a little. Might give Boise State an opportunity as Kel is going to go back towards spawn. N2S doing great work on this Tracer, picking up a double. Boise State is once again staggered.
Yeah, N2S has definitely been those high mobility DPSs that gets the 1 or 2 pick that makes Boise State go for the reset.
Flashbang!
Right. He went for the classic fan the hammer elimination, but the immortality field just came out just in time for Northwood, but he will end up losing his life as a great 5-man EMP comes out from Northwood.
Yeah, great EMP to start things off, but Boise State manages to survive through it as Plato and Chosen get 1 each. Dynasty and SNCS out for the count as Cowman is going to heal up, trying to stay on this point here, but the unrelenting fire from Kel is going to eliminate him. Boise State looks like they're going to pick up the point for the first time here as a very late sound barrier gets brought out by Lep. He might just be trying to stall it out, but that is unfortunate for Northwood as Boise State, that just allows them to continue staggering.
Yeah, they capped the point, so Lep kind of wasted that ult. At the same time, we saw the double environmental from both Lucios coming in from both sides. And Boise State heading into the team fight has to be feeling confident with having 4 ults to Northwood's none, because you know at these high-level plays you have to be able to track it. And with such an early elimination onto Cowman and Lep taking out Gob, Boise State's definitely going to have to play close to the point, doing this near mirror match right now with only N2S and Gob being the difference here. And Cowman, sorry. The tanks are different too. I'm blind, it's fine.
It's a mirror match, except it isn't. Well, Gob is going to take out N2S as SNCS does a great pushing large Mako right off. There goes a remake, though, on SNCS. We love seeing those remake eliminations, but with Landon and Dynasty taking out Gob and Maxwell, is it too little, too late? As they are focusing on to Cowman, who throws out the hook. They are also facing a lot of pressure from the other side, though. Kel is going to be taken out of the MAC, thanks to that whole hog there. And Northwood looks like they are going to take the point again, but Boise State has some time to take it back.
Yeah, they do, and it looks like they aren't going to be able to make it in time. Has chosen to try to get there as quickly as possible, but is going to get environmental away, and Maxwell is going to get taken out with the hook left click as well. Cowman doing very well on this Roadhog, landing a ton of hooks onto Boise State, trying to disrupt their team tempo for sure, with even N2S all the way in Boise State's spawn, causing as much havoc as possible on this Tracer. Everyone hates dealing with those pesky Tracers that can just run around forever, and opening up with a great EMP onto 4 members of Boise State.
It doesn't seem the hacks are affecting Boise State too much there. Large Bagel tried to use that beat, actually, and I'm going to eat my words right there as that minefield tears right through Boise State. Now they just have to stall this out with whatever way they can. Cowman still has a lot of health, though, as the Pilot Diva from Gal isn't going to do too much. Can someone get to the point? Yes, Boise State is managing to drive this. Little Large Bagel with a huge boop onto Cowman. That might buy the Broncos enough time. Landon taking out Plato, though. Boise State has to get a few picks here or there, but it is so hard. Oh, can he do it by himself? Large Bagel taken out by N2S. Boise State so close to taking the point here, but it's a huge fight from Northwood. Might just be too much for them to overcome, and there goes Landon taking out Max. So Boise State don't manage to do it. They managed to do it. Northwood C9 off the point.
We aren't playing League, what are you doing? But Boise State's got this with the Shatter now coming online, and we're also going to see Maxwell swap back to the McCree for this next upcoming team fight. Northwood only having the beat with Whole Hog coming quickly online, same with the Pulse Bomb. Mine's close behind as well. Northwood has been charging these ults, but Kel opening up with the Diva Bomb.
And a great deep bomb at that, taking out Landon. He's going to remech as the hack goes out to Boise State, but it isn't going to prove too much. I cannot believe that Boise State managed to steal that. You were mentioning League like the Dragon steal. Boise State managing to steal the point away from Northwood and driving it to 99-99. Cal is going to clear out these mines here as Chosen is going to use the Coalescence. As Dynasty is taken out, that is a huge pick. Large Bagel being taken out by Lep, but SSES, that huge tank presence gone from Northwood. It's going to be harder for them to hold down the point, but Boise State has to be cognizant of this application matrix that has been thrown down by Landon. Cowman going very low on health, such a pesky hero to deal with. He is going to be taken out, and as Boise State managed to do it, overtime clock ticking down, but it's just one more on the point as Lep goes onto the point. Maxwell's going to bring out his Deadeye, taking out Dynasty, and there goes the Wrecking Ball. They're going to try to do the spin to win onto the point, trying to take it back from Boise State. It is just one after the other that Boise State is managing to take out. Looks like they took out the Wrecking Ball, and that is going to do it for the Broncos.
Hard-fought victory is an understatement for that. The C9 play coming out from Northwood.
Boise State won for a C9 against Northwood? Are you kidding me?
That was brutal, but in this best of 5, we have many moments ahead of us as we look at the play of the game coming out from Kel with that 3-man Diva Bomb. Also still got to shout out that 3-man Battle Mercy elimination on that same map.
I know. I got to say, Lep, you know, we had a player a few weeks ago named Daryl who was a huge Battle Mercy, so I'm looking forward to the Lep-Daryl exhibition match in Battle Mercies in the next few weeks. But right now, we just want to let you know again of the huge Halloween party that is going to be this weekend on the Saturday. We're going to have fighting games among us, much more cosplay, food, and prizes. You are not going to want to miss it. 6 to 10 p.m. Just go to the link you see, tinyurl.com/esportshalloween, and RSVP, please. We will be looking forward to seeing you there. Well, okay, after a drawn-out fight like that, I think might need just a break myself. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot to talk about, and you definitely need to take a drink of water after how long those team fights were going. They were so drawn out, but they were skin of their teeth. That's going to be the title of this entire matchup, is by the skin of their teeth, because these teams are so closely matched up. They're near perfect with... I keep bringing up a mirror match because that's just the skill level we're playing at, is it's practically a mirror match. So whatever heroes they're playing, they're going to be playing at their best. So it is definitely going to come down to these team compositions. And with Northwood C9ing themselves off the point, I have to wonder who made that call to say, all right, we have the point, let's just leave. Because Boise State, they still had members alive. I only have questions.
Well, before we take a little break, this is going to be the break, if you will, because we actually have an interview. You said that Boise State has a great rivalry with Northwood, and with great rivalries, we are able to get in touch with the other teams and interview them. So we will have an interview with Northwood's lead very soon here. Again, just here we go. Whoa, what a first fight. I don't know about you. Our hearts are still beating over here, but thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me. It's pretty good first map there. We're a little disorganized right now, so hopefully we can bring it back for map 2, but we've had a lot of stuff going on as a team over the last week with Overwatch League tryouts and that kind of stuff. So it's been pretty interesting, but we're having a good time.
Yeah, do you have any questions, Brenner, just based on the past? You're kind of the play-by-play analyst. What kind of stood out to you most about Northwood's performance that you'd like to chat about?
Yeah, the great play between N2S and Lep on that Echo Mercy on the first Lijiang map. Is that something you have worked on consistently? Because that makes me bring up the question of, where do you get the players from that just have that team cohesion, or do you just drill it in practice?
I mean, to be honest with you, like right now, we're kind of just trying to play what we're best at, because probably over the last 3 weeks, we've been pretty displaced as a team due to we're giving our players breaks for midterms, and then we're also letting them focus on their Overwatch League tryouts, because it's pretty crucial for a couple of these players to have a really good shot at making Overwatch League in the next month or so. So yeah, no, I mean, they practice this stuff all the time. They play ranked like 10 hours a day. So I mean, they're always practicing this kind of stuff, and a lot of the stuff is they're taking from their higher contenders level scrims as well, bringing it in as a team here. Four of our players played on the same contenders team for a while, so they've got a lot of stuff together that they've worked out in the past.
Well, we are going to be heading into game number 2. It is right around the corner, so we're just going to leave you with this. Obviously not giving away any super strategies, but just in very general terms, what do you see as Northwood's path back to beat the Broncos?
I think we just need to get back to our core comps, and we'll be all right. We'll be okay. Hopefully. I don't know. I mean, this is pretty close, so I'm a little nervous right now.
Well, it's certainly a great fight for us to watch, so thank you so much for taking the time for this interview and putting on such a great performance. Wish you the best of luck in the next few matches, and we are going to head into game number 2 very soon here. We are just about ready, but thank you again for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right, so now we move into game number 2, which is going to be Assault, and you brought up Volskaya earlier, so are you sticking with that?
Personally, I would love to see it. We do typically always see Temple of Anubis. Very rarely have we broken up to Hanamura with Doc's very own team comp coming out for that map, which we absolutely adored, as it was a ton of fun to watch and for the players to play when Doc gets that input of just let's have fun in this match. But up against Northwood, we are peak skill right now, bringing out all the stops, as that match was skin of their teeth, as I will be broken record saying. So heading into Assault, doing something that might be an off-meta map pick that they might not be so well prepared for. We could even see Horizon Lunar Colony.
Oh, wow. That has been a while since I've seen that.
No one's ever seen it, which is why I think it would be so interesting, as it would just throw most teams off because not so many people practice it.
Yeah.
And Volskaya comes out. I couldn't be happier. It's like we're playing HOTS again.
Well, here we go into Volskaya. Boise State, it's interesting. We mainly see teams go through the main choke here. We don't normally see that Seiki Symmetra teleport off to the left.
I kind of hope we do see it, especially with how much Boise State has put into their Symmetra team comps and how much they've perfected playing her. We see Maxwell on her all the time. It's something that they've just drilled in, so it's definitely feasible. But can they try to outplay Northwood and throw them off? I believe Northwood's first on the fence because it is map choice from Northwood since they lost the first control in this best of 5. So the return of that Ashe is definitely a key player, and it looks like they are going to go for that Symmetra play, which I absolutely applaud, even with the Wrecking Ball to cause as much havoc as possible. But it looks like Boise State's going to be on the defense.
Yeah, it might just be a bit of scouting, actually, because it seems like Northwood is still pushing through the main choke here. Dynamite is thrown out there. Looks like they might just try to go all around the point here and squeeze Boise State in from all angles. But with Cowman being taken out, that's going to be evened out by Gob and Maxwell eliminated. Both the DPS is gone for Boise State. Can they manage to maintain their presence on the point? Chosen certainly fighting back by taking down SZNS, excuse me, and Cal eliminated by Landon, with State and Northwood fighting furiously on this point. Cal and Plato eliminated, both tanks gone for the Broncos, followed by Chosen. I think Northwood's got their first point.
Yeah, the return of this Echo Mercy is something that Boise State has yet to really conquer, as the damage output from both the Echo and the Hanzo has just been unmatched from the side of Boise State, as they went for some swaps over to the Soldier 76, try to have that anti-air denial. It looks like they're even going to catch Gob out all by himself, so another elimination heading over to the side of N2S. So they're going to even have the ult advantage, as Assault is not a snowball game mode whatsoever. They're going to have both DPS ults, but it looks like Plato's going to get the early elimination onto Cowman for this next team fight.
Cal's going to be taken out of his mech yet again here. We see a hack is also going to be going on to N2S, tries to focus him down. He's going to swap back over to that Echo. We see Lep using the Valkyrie here, a nice little EMP, a double there, but it's not going to do much. Boise State unable to take out much of Northwood. They did manage to take out Dynasty, but Maxo was quickly eliminated by Landon, and Dynasty is res, so as if nothing really happened here. Boise State is still trying to maintain their position on this point. We did hear his SZNS using that minefield there to push Boise State off the point, and it is working as Boise State goes off the point. Plato eliminated there, N2S eliminated by Chosen, but I think that's just going to have to be a little bit of solace for the Broncos. They have to get back on the point and defend. Chosen isn't able to do that. One of them, Large Bagel, tries to get back on the point. It's taken out, followed by Gob. Now Max is going to get onto the point. It's not going to be that much of a stagger there. But look at Plato. Is going to try a little bit of that spin to win. Wrecking Ball just going to be focused down. And that's pretty fast. That's kind of the Assault we're used to. That's that just kind of huge landslide.
Yeah, whenever I say Assault's not a snowball map, that is an absolute joke, because that is the definition of Assault, is snowballing through. Boise State stayed alive in that second point for very long, heading into that engagement with Northwood, having both DPS ults online. Boise State just trudged through them all, with their supporter hurt staying last alive on that first point as well. So Boise State was definitely on the back foot heading into that second point. So Northwood with the aggression, that Echo's still being uncontested. Maxwell attempted the Soldier 76 and immediately went back to the McCree and wasn't able to get the value that you needed from those hit scans. So hopefully with Boise State on the attack and their own Symmetra cheeky plays might come out here and keep Northwood at bay.
Well, I do hear Doc strategizing with the team here. That kind of was interesting what Northwood did at the beginning by doing kind of the semi-Symmetra teleport, just so one member could go out and flank Boise State.
Yeah, anything to just create that chaos, especially with a Wrecking Ball of all people. He's able to achieve that better than anyone else, except for possibly that Lucia, as he's able to poke, but the Wrecking Ball can just dish out that much more damage and has the health pool with the sustain of that extra shields for how many people are around him. So the Wrecking Ball is definitely an issue that Boise State has to address very quickly, or else they're just going to get poke damage from all sides. And it looks like already Northwood's going to open up with the Echo damage right on the front door, so Boise State's going to have a hard-fought victory pushing through this main choke point.
Well, they are certainly not wasting any time, but a nice snipe there from Dynasty onto Gob is going to put the Broncos at a disadvantage. Kel here is just kind of going to wait back a little. Dynasty still being a great sniper, now picking up two. The Broncos forced to, they're trying to soft reset here, but they're just getting driven right back to their spawn.
Yeah, Boise State having to go to the reset, losing Maxwell so early on, not able to get any hack elimination, but N2S is even going to get another elimination onto Gob on that Ashe. This Echo is a problem that has yet to be contested. So it looks like Maxwell's going to go over to that Tracer to try to disrupt the backline and eliminate one of the supports, but it looks like NZS is going to do that instead.
Yeah, but if Lep is flying around with N2S there with that Mercy pocket, then really it's got to be Landon that Maxwell has to focus on.
Yeah, and with that immortality field, you're gonna hear the players screaming Lamp to take it out as quickly as possible with how utility focused that Baptiste is. But Boise State opening up with the speed right into Northwood's front line, trying to get as much damage as they can and disrupt the back line.
The damage is going to be on to Chosen a large bagel. Once the supports fall like dominoes, the rest of the Broncos get sent back to start running into a brick wall against the Timberwolves.
Yeah, the DPS from Boise State, actually the last one's eliminated in that fight as Maxwell was able to come out of it alive, and God being the last one eliminated. The supports taking out first and then the tanks. Northwood has that target recognition and to prioritize the correct targets. You take out the supports, the front line falls because they cannot heal themselves. We are not running a Roadhog this time around. So going into this next team fight, it's going to be all up to Kel to try to disrupt this high ground and get the advantage.
Well, he does disrupt the Dragon Strike that is thrown out with that defensive matrix. That's got to feel nice as Lep uses the Valkyrie and Landon using that immortality field. Plato using that shatter there. Dynasty is going to take him out. We're talking so much about the Echo getting so much free mileage, but really, it's this Hanzo here that's such a menace to Boise.
Yeah, and even after getting his ult eaten by Cal, he's still able to have that damage output to hold them back. Same with Calman just pushing that front lane on the Sigma. And we even saw during that engagement, Dynasty just able to get the damage output onto Gob before the Ashe could even scope in with those arrows, with the one-shot headshots coming in clutch and the sonic arrows. So Northwood definitely has that DPS and the mobility that you want to see from this type of team with this high level of play being undefeated. So Boise State now is going to try to hopefully open up with that self-destruct and throw Northwood on their back foot for once.
Bob is being brought out by Gob there. Kel with a nice Diva Bomb is able to take out Lep without that pocket. That's going to make those snipers a little bit easier to deal with, as another defensive matrix is just going to eat that Dragon Strike. Boise State has finally broken through and gets to the first point. They're going to try to stagger Northwood out a little. Will Northwood have enough to push back onto the point? Ooh, it's ticking up very slowly. It seems like it's ticking up slower when you're trying to take the point. But there goes Boise State, capturing the first point, moving on to B.
Yeah, Boise State with that self-destruct, able to take out Lep so early on and take out the Echo Mercy combo. This is the time you want to push. You are up 2 members. Yes, they have spawn advantage, but losing Chosen so early on, Boise State's going to have to go for the reset here, losing that amplification matrix and second support. The best thing they can do at this point is Max will just charge up that pulse bomb, same with Plato on the shatter, so you have ult advantage for this next fight.
Boise State just needs to drive this to overtime, and it's still going to have to mount up a huge defense here. Here they go, the Broncos pushing through again. They're going to have to deal, though, with that amp matrix thrown down by Landon. Maxwell is eliminated by Dynasty, who is just such a threat on this Hanzo. He finally gets the Dragon Strike he was looking for. And there goes eliminations being traded. SZNS and Chosen eliminated. Gob able to take out N2S as Plato pushes toward the point here. There goes Landon taking out Cal. Boise State just isn't able to push past this choke point here. Dynasty still doing great work on that Hanzo, taking out Gob and N2S. Rez, that's another Bronco reset.
Yeah, Lev has just been uncontested on all of these Rezes. This Mercy has just been uncontested for so many fights. Now opening up with the Valkyrie and the duplicate onto the Diva. Northwood's doing Boise's strat, pushing up to spawn the best they can, so Boise's already down a member.
Boise State does seem to be at least a little bit disciplined in how they lose here, because they are doing great on their resource management, just kind of trying to drain Northwood of any ultimates that they can get. Really, the closest thing that Northwood has is that amp matrix, which is going to charge up quickly, so it's going to be available for the next fight. Look at Boise State, though. They've actually pushed on to the point here. I wasn't even noticing that. There goes Plato with a great flame strike onto Lep, but the rest of the Broncos are trying to get to the point. It looks like Plato just charged forward there. Did manage to get one tick, but now the rest of the Broncos try to go charging in there. They still haven't pushed past the choke point here. I don't know if that was a little bit of a communication error for the Broncos or Plato trying to be cheeky there. It got them one tick. but the Broncos now seem to be stumbling a little as they're trying to rush in to catch up. There goes the Amp Matrix thrown down, Plato eliminated by Cowman, and there goes the Dragon Strike being brought out by Dynasty there. Northwood has one more ultimate that has just been brought online. I don't know if they will use it. They might say that for the next one. Dynasty yet again doing great work for the Timberwolves, taking out Chosen and a large bagel.
Yeah, going into that being down a member is the best situation you can, as they've just been eliminated on the rotation so many times from Dynasty or N2S on this Echo. The DPS know which targets to hit, so now Maxwell's going to swap over to the McCree as he was able to get that first tick with Plato on that Tracer, and it looks like Gob now opening up with the early elimination on N2S. Unless they can contest that rest, this is the advantage you need with only 25 seconds remaining. This is pretty much the last fight for Boise. It looks like they're only going to have the Shatter online for this next fight as well.
A lot of them get caught up in that gravitic flux there. SNCS is taken out. Look at Landon, though, taking out Chosen. Dynasty eliminated by a large bagel. That is a huge pick, though. But with the res onto SCN as the front line is back for Northwood, it's going to be more than enough to charge back over the Broncos to keep them from taking this second point. Boise State loses the second round. Northwood ties it up.
Northwood definitely playing to their strengths, as their coach said in the interview. They went back to what they were comfortable with, and that Echo Hanzo was a dominating force for both players. So Northwood takes map 2 of this best of 5, so it's now 1-1 between these two teams.
Well, the Idaho Army National Guard is a strong supporter of Boise State Esports, and they invite you to take your critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming, where both teams are tied up. We're going to see at least a game 4. This is a really competitive match, and you are not going to want to miss how it turns out. So we'll be right back after these messages.
NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are currently watching Play versus here and seeing Boise State go up against Northwood. Two top teams, one of the only 4 teams left, 2 of the 4 teams left that have been undefeated in the match so far, and both these teams are tied 1-1 in the overall match. And I got some good news. I'm still your host, Jacob Jim Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear-Ladd. And the good news is for Brenner because I have been informed that Route 66 is the choice for the next map, something that you have been practically begging for this whole semester.
Yeah, it's the one map that I still love, true, dear to my heart. I don't play Overwatch nearly as much as I should, and Route 66 just brings it all back. Love Route 66, so I'm so happy that we're finally showing it off, because my opinion's the best escort map. I have opinions about it, but I love Route 66, and I hope that we see Boise State finally have an answer for that Echo Mercy play, because this is the map where you do it, as it is so open for the first 2 points. This is where Boise State has to come alive and show that they are the better team in this matchup.
And I do have to wonder, you know, now the players, you know, we're telling them not to look back, but it can be our job to look back, really, because one thing I noticed in Volskaya that concerned me a little was I just wanted to know what you made of that last play, because Plato just seemed to charge ahead of everyone else and get to the point first, and it did manage to get Boise State a tick, but they were going to enter that engagement with 5 ultimates, you know, over Northwood. So I'll get your thoughts on that, because it seemed like just sort of an odd play to me, but what aren't odd plays and are plays that you should do are Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch, and that's to never take a fair fight. That means take fights in unexpected places when the other team is unprepared. And of course, remember tempo, tempo, tempo. That's brought to you by Drop In Gaming. And if you want to get involved, get involved with great tournaments, then Drop In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games and competition for you to begin your competitive gaming journey. Sign up at dropingaming.com. Okay, so let me get your thoughts, Brenner, because it seemed like that was a little bit of a weird positioning thing.
Yeah, so Maxwell and Plato were in the back line, capping the point, trying to do a whole nother C9, it seems, from the repeat of the first control map that Northwood did, and they were able to get that first tag, but as you mentioned, they had the 5 ult advantage, so had Plato stayed with the main team and able to get that push-up, Plato was the only one not having his ult up, so they didn't have the shatter, but they had everything else. Boise had the chance. They just needed to contest that high ground with the elevator on the right side, because that's where Northwood held them off so many times. We've seen Boise State do the exact same strategy on Blizzard World, holding the high ground so they can't push the car. So heading into this next matchup, they need to contest that high ground and have their tanks play with the team, as Boise State's on the attack against Northwood. We're opening up with 2 eliminations from each side.
Yeah, Maxwell taking out Dynasty as ZNS takes out Cal. A large bagel with the environmental onto Calman. It's been trading back and forth. Neither team at a huge advantage here. Maxwell on the soldier here, trying to snipe out one of the members of Northwood. Great double by Chosen and Gob, followed by the turret kill of all things. A double turret kill from Gob. That's just what you love to see at the tour. That's just pure skill right there.
This is definitely going to be a great map for Gob on that Torb, as Route 66 is definitely one of the few maps where Torb can just flourish and be a playmaker. Same with Maxwell on the Soldier 76. Hopefully he will stick to it longer than he has in the past, as Northwood has not been bringing out that Echo from NCS, but it looks like Dynasty's going to go back to the Hanzo and try to contest the best they can, so they'll have a lot more high ground versatility with the double sniper, but they won't be able to brawl on cart for very long with this Roadhog, and now SZNS going over to the Sigma. So Northwood definitely having an interesting team comp that we don't see a lot, especially with the Ana Zen. It's a bit interesting, higher DPS, but it looks like Dynasty's going to open up this team fight by eliminating Chosen.
And an anti-nade thrown on to 2 members of Boise State. Cal very low on health, going to be taken out of the MAC. There goes the whole hog, is going to take out that Torp turret. And anti-nade also onto Gob is going to stop Boise State right in their tracks.
Yeah, they started off with that.
I saw the attempt, I liked it.
It was there, but it was not successful, sadly, so that will just stall Boise State a little bit more time, but they do have the 3, almost 4, and even almost 5 ults, but it looks like the large Bailey was going to give up that percentage to do his own Zenyatta plays, so the 1v1 is probably going to come out at some point between these two support players, but eliminating NCS does give them that advantage because they did not have the ult, but they did not win the team fight. So now with Lep now getting his ult online, it is going to be that 3-3 ult as they open up with everything they have.
There goes the Molten Core out from Gob. Large Bagel taking out Bob there, but it's N2S with the elimination on a Chosen, forcing Boise State to reset again. The good thing for Boise State is, well, I'll let you do the analysis.
Yeah, they only used that Molten Core, whereas Northwood used every ult they had access to at that time.
See, Grade 9 Sync Alike, that was what I was going to say.
Exactly, it's fine. We just like doing each other's jobs. It's great. So, with no support ults, Northwood is definitely going to have to play a ton safer, and with Kel loving to E as many Dragon Strikes as possible, he's not going to do it this time around, but instead just simply line aside it out of the way. But it is going to take out Gob, who is just a second late pushing forward, but his turret is going to be able to eliminate N25S.
All right, Boise State really looks like they've been saving up to make some sort of play. That's a huge anti-nade onto Boise State. A triple. There goes the Diva Bomb out from Kel. It's going to get stuck up on the bridge, but that's going to work out as they take out Dynasty. This is the advantage that Boise State needs. Right now, they're going to push forward with that Supercharger placed down by Plato there. Can they pick up anyone else? Ooh, a lot of damage there onto the Ashes. She throws out Bob there. Boise State is going to have to deal with Bob here. It takes out Gob's turret and also Kel and Maxwell too. Bob is the best friend that you need for Northwood right now, stopping Boise State, who has no time left to push the card forward.
Yeah, Dynasty now even last minute swapping over to the Widowmaker now. NCS on the Tracer. The Nano Boost comes out for Northwood, but Boise State's not going to have the chance with Large Bagel and taken out by Lep. Maxwell finally using that visor and gets the final elimination of Dynasty, but it will not mean the difference. So now Boise State's on the defense. Is going to have a hard hold here. Gaba probably going to return to the Torb just so they have that extra DPS, which did work out for them quite well, but they were not able to contest the high ground as consistently as you want to see, especially on Route 66, on top of that gas station that's just such an issue to push from unless you have those verticalities. So Boise State heading into this next fight is going to have that team play that you need and not get eliminated on the rotations that we've seen so consistently. Dynasty always looking out for supports left on their own and not having the Baptiste constantly with the immortality field gets taken out. Same with a Large Bagel. So they need to have an answer for these DPS players from Northwood because the tanks and Lep quickly follow up with the DPS of their own. Boise State has yet to have an answer for it as their sustainability. Northwood has the target recognition to take out those supports early on.
Well, it really is a good news, bad news scenario for you, Brenner. I mean, the good news is we got to see Route 66. The bad news is you're not going to see much of it here.
I mean, hey, that's how it goes, but something's better than nothing in my book. So it looks like Boise State's even going to hold a bit further back and not go for the early push like Northwood did because their goal is to win that first fight. And even though Northwood lost it, Boise State was not able to push the cart that far. Route 66 is one of the longer maps. It's not Havana, but does have the loop-de-loop, so the Torp turret will definitely get a ton of value as Northwood gets to push the cart about halfway to the checkpoint that they need to already for free.
And Cowman just doing really good here on this Roadhog with the hook onto God. Takes out his turret, takes out himself. Boise State is going to find themselves down one already, and this Wrecking Ball just plowing right through the Broncos, splitting them up, trying to focus them down, but Plato has to turn around. He doesn't know where to focus right now. Do you focus on the Wrecking Ball or do you focus on the payload being pushed forward? Landon and N2S taking out Kel and Maxwell, now Chosen eliminated by Cowman. This is not going well for the Broncos. They have to hold here, but it is very close to the parking lot. Oh, Large Bagel, though, getting rid of SZNS. So maybe they have a chance here. No, he's doing Dynasty with the BM, doing the push-ups on the payload.
I mean, it's yet to be contested. He hasn't taken damage until Maxwell finally goes for the elimination, opening up with the bongo from Plato as well. Boise State just almost giving that up at that point as they had no members in time to regroup, but they are able to eliminate NCS and Lep, so they are finally going to win that team fight. I think that was a team fight. It was just more of a brawl, but so early on they lost the high ground. They just let the Wrecking Ball spin to win on top and just knock them all away. And they did even eliminate him afterwards as they were just losing players with split focus. Gob finally able to eliminate N2S and trying to get the Ana as well, and will get him, but immediately dies to Leb. I mean, it's a trade, but being the defenders, you don't want to be at that disadvantage as the attackers have the spawn advantage. Using a lot of ults as well, but we're going to see Northwood going for the swaps with now the Echo at the 13%. So close yet so far, but with how many eliminations this player has been getting, they're definitely a threat. With Dynasty on the Soldier with the visor heading into this, already this Wrecking Ball knocking them off the roof. Northwood knows how to contest high ground.
And they certainly do, and they're going to throw out the minefield as well, and the Accretion getting Kel there. Diva Bomb isn't going to be a hero's play for Kel, unfortunately, but Maxwell able to eliminate Lep and is trying to snipe out N2S, but it is not going to be enough. Northwood getting the win on Route 66, and now they are at match point.
At least we got to see it. It was beautiful for the whole first checkpoint.
Yeah, it was. Of course, Gob is going to get play of the game. Although when your turret does half of the play of the game, yeah, the Boise State just doesn't even want to take that. They just want to move on.
Yeah, no, we're heading to map number 4, which is one of the first times we've ever gotten this far in this season, especially for play versus. So it looks like we're going to be heading over to hybrid.
Well, before we get to that, we want to let you know that you can score pro advice at esportstower.com. You can improve your game sense, improve your team play, get matched up, and meet leading esports talent, industry insiders, professionals, and talent. Go to esportstower.com right now to unlock your true talent. So we're going to head into a break right now and be back with match number 4. We will find out if the Broncos can stage some sort of revival right after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are currently watching Boise State go up against Northwood in Play versus Overwatch. I'm still your host, Jacob Jim Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd. And Brenner, we are getting ready to jump right into the 4th map. It's the first time we've really seen that in Play versus since we've been so used to seeing 3-0 sweeps. But the choice of map isn't going to be anything out of the ordinary. It's going to be Kings Row on Hybrid, which is interesting since Boise State had the choice of stage this time, so they didn't really decide to go for any kind of off-meta stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, especially in this high-level play, you want to be playing at your best. And since they have the most practice on Kings Row, I definitely understand why they made the pick. And with how open most of this map is, Northwood could definitely bring back that Echo with Lep on the Mercy. So it's something Boise State has to acknowledge of, this is something that we're choosing to go up against and having to deal with, especially with Dynasty on the Hanzo that you could see even if they are on the defense as well. So Boise State's definitely going to have to be on their A game here, especially if we might see the return of the May McCree comp.
Well, we will just have to see. We are getting ready to jump right into Kings Row here. Both these teams are queuing up. Northwood is at match point, so Boise State has to drive this up to a final game 5. I can see right over my shoulder, actually. Last few members of the Broncos are seating in, getting ready to join the match. So here we go. The Broncos versus the Timberwolves. Kings Row. Last chance for the Broncos to tie this up. Do you think the Broncos will be able to take this in their first engagement? 'Cause that really is kind of something that sets the whole stage for Kings Row, is if you're able to take that point in the first engagement.
Yeah, as we touched on multiple times throughout the stream, Doc's keys the game about tempo, tempo, tempo. So winning that first engagement definitely gives the players the confidence to keep on rolling forward and having that advantage. And with the disadvantage of defending first if they are, or attacking first, if they get losing those supports early on those rotations, it is something that you have to address of the defenders are always at a disadvantage here on Kings Row, as is an attacker-friendly map with the spawns until they get further till pushing the cart. So definitely it seems like it's going to be a Northwood defense first with this Wrecking Ball and Sigma, as they've just been so good with this Wrecking Ball, and he's having to pretty much have a free day with disrupting so much of the Boise State line. It looks like they're even going to open up with Gop on the Torb rather than the May. So this turret placement is definitely going to be what you have to look out for.
And Maywell is going to stop Boise State's push through Hotel here. This large vehicle gets taken out. The first pick of the game. Boise State realizes they have to reset here. Northwood trying to get some sort of a stagger as Boise State runs for cover.
Yeah, early reset, getting that very elimination onto a large bagel with that on a nade combo along with the Maywall. Northwood definitely knows how to play verticality with this high ground. Boise State really has no vertical other than Kel to get up there quickly. Same with Chosen with that control jump, but it looks like Plato's going to get a little bit caught in between with his players, so it is all against this May, but it looks like the Dragon Strike's going to come in and team wipe.
Is it? Okay.
There it is.
Okay, the game let them have it. I was just curious. I mean, it's the same basic effect there, but sometimes you just like, for your ego's sake, to just hear that sound effect.
Yeah, for sure, and Northwood has definitely deserved it with how hard fought this matchup has been between these two teams. And hopefully Kel was able to get that elimination against the Dynasty,
he
so
does.
Boise State will be +1 heading into this next fight, along with Chosen having the amplification matrix and no ults on the side of Northwood, but another great Maywall slowing down the rotation for Boise State as they go into the point.
Yeah, but that was a great way to kind of punish Dynasty for being away from the rest of his team there. Kel's going to go up to the high ground here, gets stunned and pushed right back down. There goes Dynasty with the elimination onto Gob. Gravitic Flux also taking out Chosen. A boop onto Large Bagel. The only thing is Plato taking out N2S. Boise State can't even get one tick.
Yeah, the two tanks left alive and just stalling as long as they can, but Kel gonna get stalled out even longer on the Baby Diva. So now Boise State's not gonna have any tanks for this push. So Northwood's getting even more time on the clock in their side. Boise State's gonna have to regroup and push with their 2 DPS ults as the sound barrier is not online. Maybe Plato will be able to get a great flame strike in and go for the shatter, but looks like Gob's just gonna open up with the Molten Core.
Yeah, just push a little bit and just a little bit onto that high ground to try to push Northwood off, and that's a great punch again. Kel getting the flank onto Dynasty, and speaking of flanks, look at Gob here. He's trying to get into the back line of Northwood, but it's going to just be collapsed right on. That is not going to work out. Maxwell there is trying to get some sort of pick. There are 2 picks now with Lep and SC, and SC's going to walk right into that Dragon Strike, though, and the Blizzard is going to try to buy some time for Northwood, but Boise State has now gotten the first tick that they were after. Question is, can they hold as they are being pushed in from all sides here by Northwood? That's a great pick there onto Landon, and Large Bagel is using the beat to help Boise State regroup here, but that minefield is buying so much time for Northwood. Can Boise State get back onto the point? Well, that was after Kel was eliminated by Dynasty, but a Large Bagel and Chosen there with a great double is going to buy the Broncos back that first point, and the Broncos still have some life in them.
Yeah, that was a very interesting way to start off the team fight, with Gob kind of being the sacrificial lamb going in all by himself on the far side, and then the rest of his team rotating pretty much straight to point after he got eliminated. And Chosen holding that out, able to get a double elimination on this Bab to keep the team alive. So it looks like Northwood's finally going to go for the Echo swap as well as Lep onto the Zenyatta, as Boise finally gets to start pushing the cart only with 2:45 left, but it looks like they're going to open up with the Gratific Flux.
I was thinking I might see a mid-air high noon there, but it doesn't look like that is going to happen. Now here goes Boise State around the corner here. Kel is going to throw out that Diva Bomb. Is it going to get anything? No, but great work from Maxo and Gob are going to take out two from Northwood. Now they're going to focus down Dynasty in the pub right here, are going to be able to get him. And Boise State is continuing to push forward to the second checkpoint very fast here, despite being pelted with this anti-nade repeatedly. They are doing a great job.
Yeah, Northwood's been very split apart for this defense so far. After they've been pushing the card, they have yet to really regroup as a team and have a solid push, as the tanks kind of push up on their own with one support, get eliminated, and then the DPS with one support push up. As we see both the McCree and Zenyatta eliminated early on, trying to open up with that Dragon Strike, and a great Shatter to stop that push.
Yeah, that means Northwood is really staggered out right now, and Boise State is going to make even more space for themselves. Look at Maxwell here taking out Dynasty, and Play-Doh eliminating Cowman as well. It is one after the other. Now one elimination onto Boise State is going to make them regroup and push back to the payload, get the full speed that they can with 3 members on it. Now they're going to meet Northwood back at full strength around this corner here. Boise State having just one ultimate to their name, and they're going to use it right away with this Amp Matrix thrown down. Large Bagel gets the beat in his arsenal, and he's going to use it right now. There goes Gob's turret being taken out, as well as a Discord orb being placed on Gob. He's going to survive through that, allowing him to take out N2S. Look at that Gravitic Flux being brought out by Cowman, taking out a Large Bagel and Maxwell, but Gob still fighting back. It's the sole offense for Boise State right now, taking out Dynasty, but Kel being brought out of their mech. This might just have to be a reset for Boise State here. And unfortunately, a bit of a fat finger from Play-Doh.
Yeah, losing that Shatter is not what you want to see unless he's going to go for the swap, which would be quite interesting, as Reinhardt's kind of been the mainstay of the Overwatch meta since day one. So now going into this next fight, it looks like Boise State's going to have the 3 ultimates, 2 DPS, and the self-destruct compared to Northwood's Transcendence. But it looks like with that early elimination, it's going to take it out. Same with the Deadeye coming out from Northwood. So Boise State's just going to line aside it and get an elimination out of it.
Great job. Is that a hammer elimination onto N2S? What a great job by Gob there. Boise State getting to the 3rd and final point. Transcendence is going to try to bridge it out here for Northwood, but that Molten Core is going to make a lot of ground dangerous for them to step on. Boise State looks like they're going to be able, they have to get out of the way of that Flame Strike though, and 2 of them get taken up on it. Oh, so unfortunate for the Broncos. They were so close, and especially after that hammer elimination from Gob. You're breaking my heart.
Yeah, that double Dragon Strike kill was fantastic from Dynasty right out the spot, when Kel was not there to eat it. So now with Lep using that Transcendence to also keep alive, he's not going to have any old percentage built up, so it's just going to be the 2 tank ults from Northwood heading to this next team fight. With Chosen having the only ult on the side of Boise, they're going to have to try to charge up in this fight as they open up with the Bongo from Northwood.
It's just going to be swung right out of the way from Play-Doh. He does not fear anything, holding up his shield and pushing back onto the payload. It looks like the Broncos have regrouped here. They have to watch out from this Gravitic Flux being brought online by Cowman. Look out for Dynasty as well, but he gets taken out by Kel as Lep takes out Kel and Gob takes out Lep in response. It is back and forth, but the Broncos overall are getting the advantage here. They have to watch out here and make sure they don't make the same mistake twice though. Can they get to the point before anything comes online for Northwood? They do indeed. And they're at least, at worst, going to be going to overtime here.
Yeah, Gob on this Torb has kind of been the key player for this Kings Row push, farming constant Molten Cores and just denying so much zoning potential. Northwood not really having an answer for that, was not able to get the Echo truly online to deny it, as Boise was just pushing that cart non-stop, getting multiple picks. Kings Row has definitely been their map so far.
Whew. Well, now the Broncos can rest a little bit easier. It was a very challenging push forward, but they managed to take all 3 points. Of course, this is now going to be a very telling first fight here.
Yeah, Boise State needs to hold this control point against Northwood, as Northwood held them on this first point for very long with this high ground. It was a hard fought, as they only kept the point with a minute remaining of time, and they pushed the car with a minute remaining of time. So Northwood, if they have the aggressive play on lock, now that they are bringing out the Rhine rather than the Orisa with the Sig, they definitely have that frontline potential, as the Orisa was eliminated early on many times, not having the sustainability and tanking potential of a Reinhardt. So Kel on this Diva is definitely going to have to be a person you look out for going up against a Sig with the front line of Northwood. Especially with this early fight, you got to win it early, and with Dynasty on this Hanzo, he can easily get an early elimination.
We'll see what happens here. Boise State, look at Maxwell here, already up to 17%. He's okay, never mind. I'm not gonna I try to call out Maxwell for the great job he does, and he gets picked off. Look at Plato and God picking up the slack here. That is great for the Broncos, but they need to actually get on the point here. Look at Northwood almost taking the whole point despite being one down thanks to Boise State's double there. That is making space for yourself.
Yeah, that is definitely feeling comfortable as they open up with the amplification matrix as well. They farm that ult so quickly, but Chosen now getting his own amplification matrix. They're going to have to use it to keep the pressure off of Northwood capping this point, and they're also going to have to get on it with no member getting on it. And 1%, they are going to be able to cap it with 5 minutes and 37 seconds. Boise State, this is not what you want to see on the defense.
Especially, I don't know what's going on with Plato, but that's a second shatter he's kind of whiffed.
Yeah, sometimes you just finger the Q, trying to hold W and swing your hammer the best you can as the Rhine. So going into this next fight with Maxwell now on the Mei, trying to hold and stall them back for as long as you can. This is where it all comes to fruition, as they can't even get past this first checkpoint with Northwood pushing up on that verticality so early on. Boise only having really 2 members on their team to contest it quite quickly.
Ooh, and Cowman pushing a lot of pressure onto Maxwell. Mortality field gets thrown down for Boise State, trying to keep them alive. Cal isn't going to be able to survive, though. Gob gets a nice pick onto N2S and is going to try buy anytime he can with the Molten Core here. Large Bagel with a nice pick onto SZNS. Might be enough to stop the Timberwolves there, but look at Dynasty charging right through in the subway tunnel. And Plato's just going to try to get right in his face and swing him out of the way. He's pushing back toward the Sigma here. It looks like Boise State has managed through a little bit of a weird fight, but they have managed to stop Northwood.
Yeah, a lot of 1v1s kind of through that consistent fight. Not really a whole group 6-man 6v6 fight, as both Maywalls coming out from both sides. But no elimination coming from him, but opening up with this amplification matrix as well as the Blizzard. Boise State's going to have to back off unless they're going to lose multiple members, with Plato finally landing a shadow onto some members of Northwood.
Oh, and another nice pick with that Diva Bomb there. Northwood is... What a guy. I've never seen them trying to catch the subway, actually, but it is going to work there for Boise State. Man, talk about making space for yourself. Have you ever seen that in a broadcast, Brenner, them pushing into the subway?
I mean, last-ditch effort. He was the last one alive, and he still eliminated Plato. Oh, so dying breath, take one with you. But now N2S is on the Reaper, someone we have not seen before. So he's going to able to have that sustain and brawl potential that Boise State has not had to deal with yet, and opening up with a great Blizzard, but quickly countered by the Dragon Strike.
SNCS takes out Gob there. Boise State is going to be down 1, but it really does look like they have made up for their slow start in being able to, you know, burn off at least 2 minutes from Northwood's time reserve here, even though Northwood with the double from Cowman and SZNS taking out Maxwell. That's going to be all the members of the Broncos taken out there. They make it to the final point, but Boise State at least managed to stall it out for a little bit there.
Yeah, Northwood definitely having the time advantage compared to when Boise State got this far. Northwood also having the ult advantage coming into this next fight with the Shatter and an Amplification Matrix online with a 4-man Shatter starting off this team fight.
Okay. I guess reset then.
That was a quick team fight to say the least.
Okay.
N2S and ZNS.
Okay.
These names are hurting my brain.
I know. Okay. Okay, Broncos, here we go again. Just don't do what you did before, because that wasn't pretty there. Well, Gob is going to use that Molten Core to try to split up Northwood there. The Amp Matrix gets thrown down by Landon. Kel is going to get the pick onto Landon, and now Northwood is going to stay very clear. He eats the Dragon Strike again, Kel. He's been insane with that defensive Matrix, and Boise State, and hardly using any resources, is able to hold Northwood and charge their ults up.
Yeah, I'm still so curious about why they chose the Reaper pick here over the Mei when the Mei was working for them so well. It got them this far, and now the Sigma using that Gratific Flux with no teammates that close. Plato once again, and using the Shatter, not landing on any members. Boise State's going to have to use the beat to stay in this fight.
But that is a huge shatter from Northwood again. Kel is going to throw out his Diva Bomb. Isn't going to pick up anybody. Die takes out Chosen. The Accretion actually gets rid of a large Bagel, but Maxwell is fighting back by taking out N2S, and Lep also eliminated. And also that Torp Turret is just doing a lot of good damage right now. It's still staying alive. Okay, it finally gets taken out. Enough time for the Broncos to respawn, so hey, it worked out.
Yeah, anything to stall them out, especially with how much of a time advantage they have right now with 2:30 still on the board. Boise State has to bring out all of the stops right now, not having any ult percentage what to speak of. It's all on Gob with this Molten Core to try to farm as quickly as possible to stop this push from Northwood, as they have 2 of their ults, almost 3, coming online for this next team fight.
Oh, and there goes another Dragon Strike being brought out. It's going to get Chosen there. This might be the end of the road for the Broncos. Large Bagel trying to put a stunning defense on for the Broncos, but it is not going to work out. Can one of them stall up? Maxwell on the Tracer, trying to make it to the point. Isn't going to be able to do it. And now we go into overtime. Northwood with a hefty advantage.
Yeah, the minute 30 advantage is not what you want to see if you're at Boise State right now, only having a minute yourself. Northwood having a great attack there, having the ult advantage, able to get an early elimination from Lep onto the member of Boise State, so being that +1 going into the fight and having ult advantage and eliminating both supports. It's not what you want to see. So now with it's all down to this really for Boise State, they have to pull it out here if they want to be able to head on to match number 5 and make this the first time we've ever seen it. This is the first time we've seen map 4 so far, so anything is possible.
Yeah, anything, especially with 2 very evenly matched teams. You can't count the Broncos out. They did manage to, I just have to wonder if that first fight on the first point, if they had just managed to hold Northwood, because their defense wasn't too bad for the second part. You know, they managed to burn off 2 minutes before Northwood could make it to the checkpoint, so they hadn't fallen that early.
Yeah, you definitely have to look at that first control point as where things went wrong. They weren't able to hold out as long as they should have with multiple rotations and those Mei walls just being so well placed. That turret taking a lot of early Junkrat damage. So it looks like Northwood's going for a very much higher DPS than they were the first time.
All right, here we go again. Northwood versus Boise State. Broncos going to be looking to take a long route around here just to try to catch the Timberwolves off guard. Gob is going to lose his turret there. Maybe he doesn't need his turret because he's managed to pull off elimination with his hammer. Chosen very low on health, is managing to hold in there very barely there. The Broncos need to take a point here, or else it's going to be a very tough defense for them. They want to try to get at least some sort of tick, but Gob going in by himself isn't going to do any favors for the Broncos. This just doesn't look like a good attack on any measure.
Yeah, no, and that might be it for Boise as 5 members pushed up. Maxwell got eliminated early on. Gob was still practically at spawn by himself, goes for the push and gets eliminated early on. It looks like Northwood is going to hold this defense, so Boise State's going to have to try to hold him at this first control point for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Ooh. Northwood showing why they are undefeated.
Alrighty, this is it for the Broncos. It's not a
all
great
down to
situation.
this, yeah.
No, it's just it's tough enough defending the first point, but they got to go 2 minutes 30 seconds without allowing just one tick. And the thing is, for the Broncos, that's something you have to think about for the last engagement. I mean, they started that engagement off right their first time defending by getting 2 picks, but Northwood just made such space for themselves getting onto the point that they were able to get 2 ticks.
Yeah, they pushed that cart very quick where Boise State was able to stall them out a bit longer, but having the 5:30 once you start pushing the cart just gave them so much of a buffer that they could definitely play a bit slower and more conscientious, whereas Boise State just kind of had to throw everything they can at it to just stop this snowball force that has been Northwood so far. So now with Northwood on the attack and Boise State on the defense, they need to play tightly close together and hold the advantage of the high ground, because so far it seems anytime Northwood gets the high ground, they win the team fight, and Boise State hasn't really taken that advantage for themselves.
All right, here we go. It's going to have to be the defense of the decade here. Here we go. Just one early pick. That's all it takes here. We'll see if the Broncos can do that. I actually see a Bastion being brought out by Dynasty.
As well as the Far, so no longer Echo and no Mercy.
It's a bit of an interesting strategy, but I wouldn't doubt Northwood with how good they've been doing. They just managed to push the Broncos. Again, this is the same thing. They pushed them completely off the point. They're just going to sneak this tick. Boise State has to get back on the point. They cannot C9 here. No, they're so close, though. Boise State cannot leave this point. Okay, they do manage to get back on the point by the skin of their teeth. Got taken out. Calman there is going to stop the first push. Oh, no, Boise State cannot let up for one moment here.
It really is just going to be a constant team brawl from here on out for the next minute 40 unless Boise State manages to get the team wipe. They do have the amplification matrix, but pretty much it is only Plato on point, so now amplification matrix finally comes out as the members of Northwood are simply going to line aside it and back off as they have the time advantage.
Oh, there goes the amp matrix from Northwood now as ZNS taken out, but look at Landon there with a double, and Calman, that's going to do it there. Team wipe onto Kel. That is going to be the end of the Broncos' journey there. Great job by Northwood ending this 3-1. A great fight all around, but just too much from the Timberwolves.
Yeah, this is proof why both teams are undefeated. They played phenomenally on all of the maps we've seen tonight, especially Route 66. Thank you for begging that. And definitely player of the game going over to Z and S on this great shatter that the members of Boise State did simply not anticipate in a small hallway.
That's tough.
So Northwood takes the win. Boise State no longer undefeated. Play versus Northwood. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was fantastic to watch. How do you not say thank you? That was a great display from both teams.
Okay, so Brenner, it's your final thoughts. What do you want to give?
Route 66 is the best thing ever. Anyone who picks it is my favorite. You pick Route 66, I love you.
All right, well, a humbling experience for the Broncos, but we knew this was going to be a close game and against one of the best teams. And of course, like their coach said, with players, trying out for Overwatch League, it was going to be a tough match all along. But the Broncos did make it entertaining.
Entertaining to say the least. It was constant back and forth fights, if not consistent fights, rather than like what we see traditionally of fight, reset, keep going. They kind of just kept brawling it out, which is why we saw so many eliminations and so many ultimates coming out, because they were constantly fighting each other. They never went for a ton of clean resets. So it was definitely a fun match to watch and cast.
Well, we are going to be going into the ICCU Player of the Game. Do you have any thoughts? I know we've given it to Gob so many times, but he got an elimination on the Torb Hammer.
I personally am giving it to Kel with how many Dragon Strikes he ate.
That's true. He was insane.
He ate at least 5 over the course of our 4 games, and that potential just constantly being denied from Dynasty was phenomenal. So for me, it's Kel.
All right, well, we will find out very shortly who the ICCU Player of the Game is. It is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Kel is your ICCU Player of the Game.
Yeah, those diva plays were definitely coming in clutch for Boise State. We even saw this 3-man diva bomb right here at the end. They were not able to get on the point, but it was play of the game for this control matchup. So Kel, definitely a well-deserved player of the game for this matchup against Northwood. Even losing it, was able to make his mainstay on this diva. Even though Northwood never played a diva on their own, he was able to contest them when that wrecking ball was causing so much havoc, and did his best to contest both the Far and Echo coming out from N2S. Good on Kel for keeping it alive.
Well, congratulations to Kel for getting the player of the game there. But the Broncos aren't quite done for the night. We have another match, so this is kind of a test of the Broncos' mental fortitude. They just have to kind of recover and go right into the next match. So we will be back with that as soon as we can. We will take a quick break and be back with that. But for now, enjoy your top 5 plays of the game. And brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who believes a great player makes a team more successful. No, I say CCU believes that. It's like a match after that. My mind just turns to mush because it was so close. But the Idaho Army National Guard invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs, offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them at Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Enjoy your top 5 plays of the game, and we'll be back with another match right after this break. Manage to get to the point first so they can set up a little bit of defense. Gob is going to be the first one eliminated there, as N2S is going to get the pick, followed by Dynasty. Even though Boise State got to the point first, it does not unblock. So I don't know if they're actually going to be able to capture it. It's great work for N2S takes out a large bagel. Maxwell eliminates N2S. Kel is going to remax. That's going to allow him to stay on the point for a little bit while longer. They're trying to get rid of left, but he is just unstoppable. They take down Dynasty and Calman. Boise State with just 99 is trying to capture this point. They cannot let Northwood keep possession of it. And that back up, but isn't going to be able to do it as Landon focuses down. Gob is going to get a little bit of payback for that, as Boise State is going to find some, mostly even with Northwood now down 1 as Calman takes out Gob. Boise State still managing, though. Key thing is that they are running up the timer and past the crucial 80% mark. As Maxwell takes out Dynasty is there. Chosen throwing down his aim.
We aren't playing League, what are you doing? But Boise State's got this with the Shatter now coming online, and we're also going to see Maxwell swap back to the McCree for this next upcoming team fight. Northwood only having the beat with Whole Hog coming quickly online, same with the Pulse Bomb. Mine's close behind as well. Northwood has been charging these ults, but Kel opening up with the Diva Bomb. Being undefeated, so Boise State now is going to try to hopefully open up with that self-destruct and throw Northwood on their back foot for once.
Bob is being brought out by Gob there. Kel with a nice Diva Bomb is able to take out left without that pocket. It's going to make those snipers a little bit easier to deal with, as a being
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Well, we have had a little bit of an interesting update. We are swapping over from PlayVS to NACE here. I'm still your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bearlad. So it's a bit of an interesting situation that I got to explain here. So we had 2 matches scheduled tonight. Now, the match with Northwood managed to go on for so long. Obviously, we can't abandon that match being a top place. So this NACE match gets scheduled with Southern Methodist University, and Boise State has to start it, because if they don't start it, they drop out. So the good thing is, you know, since we have a pool of players, we managed to get 3 players to kind of start the match against Southern Methodist University, if you will. And so a 3v6, I don't think we need to go over too much of what probably happened there, even with a team as great as Boise State. So Southern Methodist University has the first win here, and we're going to be joining Boise State in the second match, Kings Row. We're going to be joining them right on the swap between attack and defense. So we'll see what the Broncos can do now that they are at full strength.
Yeah, so the first match was Control on Lijiang Tower, and of course in a 3v6, we're not going to address that. So going straight into match number 2 on the hybrid with Kings Row, we're going to the side swap, and we did have our previous pool of players, so we're going to see Nerdy on the tank this time with Asu on the support as well. So we're going to see a couple of the new faces from that prior Northwood match coming in for this side swap, as well as hopefully we can jump right into the match and get this going, as the players are definitely going to have a test of how well they can, like you said, their mentality of, we just had a 4v1 4-map match, so now we're going into another one that we're already down 1. It is definitely going to be trying on how long they can keep this going.
Yep, the Broncos are getting ready to jump in, but let's bring you up to speed on how NACE works as opposed to PlayVS. It's still a best of 5, but the mode order is a little bit different, if you will. It's going to be Control, Hybrid, Escort, Assault at 4th place, where it should be, with a chance of us never seeing it, and then Control if we need to go to a 5th choice there. The map loser picks the next map, so Boise State had the choice of map here, but they decided to go with Kings Row, just like they did against Northwood. We'll see if it can't work out a little bit better for them this time.
Yeah, and fingers crossed it does, because especially being down a match already, not having the correct amount of players, you definitely want to, now that you can show your full strength as a 6-man team and show why that we have been undefeated in most tournaments up until this point. So especially with NACE, we want to keep that going forward against this team.
Well, before we get into the match, let's just do a quick review of what we like to go over before every single match. Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch. That's never to take a fair fight, and that means take fights when the opposing team is unprepared. When you can take advantage of that tempo, and those are Doc's keys to the game, brought to you by Drop-In Gaming. You can get into a variety of great matches with Drop-In Gaming. It's the premier online platform for gamers to see competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right game and competition for you. To begin your professional gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. Okay, here we go. We're going to get ready to head into Kings Row fresh off the swap. And so it's going to be actually interesting, because we're just going to see half the match, the result of half the match. So if Boise State is attacking, I'd love to see, you know, at least 5 minutes left on the timer. Before we get to that, though, a quick review of the opening lineup for this game. And we're just going to drop right in. But the opening lineup, since you can enjoy it there, is brought to you by Count. Count Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. See, Plato, Cal, Nerdy, Asu, Large Bagel, and Frost are going to get the chance to go up against Southern Methodist University here. All right, here we go.
Yeah, so returning to Kings Row, we could definitely see a repeat of the same comp that we saw just against Northwood with that Rhine Diva frontline combo. Now with Nerdy in the spotlight, same with Asu and Frost, the 3 subs that had to play the first map. So heading over to the swap sides, we were able to see that Boise State was able to get all 3 points. So now it is up to Southern Methodist to hold on the defense, as Boise State Boise State's on the defense and Southern Methodist is on the attack, yes?
Yes. Looks like Boise State managed to get 3 points with 1:25 left on the timer. Southern Methodist University already getting 1 tick. Something the Broncos really seem to be struggling with against a lot of teams is just giving up this first point too easily. But a nice pick by Frost, followed by Plato onto that one, is going to get the early lead for the Broncos.
Yeah, Plato now on the McCree playing that DPS. Same with Frost on the DPS with the Large Bagel and Asu on the supports. So already having that Deadeye online. Same with the Blizzard here with Southern Methodist only having their own Deadeye online. And Amplification Matrix with Shatter coming online right now. So heading into this next team fight, Boise State looks like they're going to pull back a bit so that they can get full line of sight onto Southern Methodist as they open up with this Amplification Matrix.
High Noon being brought out by Plato isn't going to get anybody. There's Frost, throws out that Blizzard to try to stop SMU. Amp Matrix also used by, I'm not even going to attempt. Crypt, I believe Crypt is going to be taken out there by Plato as Kel used Flame Strike to get rid of that one. And more members following for SMU as Asu and Kel get one of their own. Boise State's still holding on to the first point.
Yeah, they're holding this much better than they did against Northwood as they even were able to complete the attack with 1:25 remaining. So Southern Methodist only having the first tick on this attack, now crossing the 2-minute marker. Is definitely going to have to watch out for Kel with this Shatter coming online. Same with the drop the beat for any ult they might answer to. And it looks like it was Prophecy as they opened up with that Shatter.
There you go. Look at Nerdy with a triple there on that Diva, taking care of business against SMU. Now Boise State looking in great shape here. Haven't allowed SMU to get beyond that early 1 tick. Now SMU is going to go onto the point. Bit of a whiff there onto that Maywall. Is just going to wall Boise State off and said, whoa, I saw a whole bunch. Oh, no. Ah, so close.
Someday we'll see more than a 2-person Deadeye.
I know.
Boise State opens up with their own, or Southern Methodist opens up with their own self-destruct, but quickly followed by Boise State's own Blizzard. But Frost and Plato able to quickly clean up the remaining members of Southern Methodist. Now the time is not in their favor.
They're just gonna stagger out that Diva there, drain even more time away from SMU. Boise State doing a good job so far.
Yeah, SMU is definitely going to have to watch out for Dirty with the self-destruct coming online. Same with Asu having that amplification matrix because they love opening up with it. But SMU is going to have that Blizzard, so it's definitely going to be all eyes on Nerdy to try to eat that up.
Well, the Blizzard does go out, but so does Nerdy. Self-destruct doesn't get anybody, but Kel with that Flame Strike now picks up a double there. Is able to take out 2 members of Southern Methodist. There goes Gork, Preston, and Crypt as well. That's going to be all the members of SMU being taken out. Not enough for an official team wipe, but good job by the Broncos nonetheless. Oh no, Cal, oh, okay. Cal, I was wondering if he was going to get a bit too sneaky for his own good there. Just so shattered.
I mean, hey, anything to stall them out as they won't even get past the Blizzard choke point. Seems a member touched it for about a second and it was immediately eliminated. So Boise State immediately tying things back up after losing first round to only having 3 members. So in this best of 5, we're once again going to see another map 4.
Alrighty, oh, it's actually going to be Plato there. Gonna have to see what. Oh, okay. No, I guess we aren't. Okay,
we're go.
Moving on. Yeah, moving on. We got a lot to do here tonight. All right. Well, we are going to have a lot to do on Saturday, which is the Halloween party. We're going to be showcasing fighting games, Among Us, and much more, as well as cosplay and prizes for those. It's going to be on October 30th, this Saturday from 6 to 10 p.m. You can RSVP by going to tinyurl.com/esportshalloween and letting us know that you will be there. Alrighty, so we are ready to head into the next game. Oh, and again, the Halloween party is presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuardGaming. Okay, Broncos ready to head into match 3. SMU with the choice for this particular map. But before we get to that, I think we will take a short break. So we will be right back after these messages that we have especially for you.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are currently watching this NACE Overwatch match of the Broncos versus Southern Methodist University. The Broncos ready to jump into Game 3, tied 1-1 here. So we're, going to get into that. I'm your host, Jacob Jen Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd. Brenner, now's the time that we go to full escort. So do you have any predictions on what is going to be chosen?
I already got my map, so I'm pretty happy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting pretty right now. I got my Route 66, so we could go whatever we want to, but I would definitely hope to see something more out of the ordinary than the traditional maps that we always see. We've seen a lot of Dorado recently and a lot of Havana, so splitting away from that would be utterly fantastic, but I'm also happy with a Dorado or Havana pick, as Havana is a very long extended map, but it looks like we're going to go with the Dorado, as we've seen Boise State practice this map more and more often as they've been able to utilize the verticality of this map, unlike they did against Northwood, as they have more practice here. So starting off on the defense, utilizing their own Echo this time around, I hope will pay off better for them, not having to go up against it.
Well, it's the first time we've also seen Winston be brought out, so kind of a full dive being brought out by SMU here. Boise State's just going to pelt them right from above here, take a lot of damage toward them. We also see a large bagel thrown out that anti-nade. Preston gets the first elimination on a Maxwell, actually. So SMU is going to be able to push forward a little.
Yeah, these aren't the typical flashy big team fights that we see from these higher level play teams. It is a lot more just kind of slow, brawly poking until everyone can get, one or two ults on their side so that they can have those big flashy plays in Overwatch, because it's all based around on who gets to press Q first. As we watch us play to goes for that pulse bomb pipe, but Kel's gonna land that grab onto multiple members. Boise State definitely winning this first fight.
Here the rally be brought out by Asu, as well as the Primal Rage from Maxwell. Maxwell getting rid of Bork there. And Boise State forcing SMU to reset again. Grass's remix there. Just a little bit of time to say, hi, how you doing there?
Yeah, you always got to have a little bit of fun here, even when it's blocking your own teammate's site with nothing going on. But Preston jumping right onto the backline of Boise State with that break, able to eliminate Asu, but will get taken out as he was able to get the cart to the checkpoint as well. No members of Boise State there to defend it, so SMU is going to be able to get that first checkpoint and the time bonus. But with ultimates coming online, things are not looking good for SMU.
Well, Excuse me. Well, they are managing to push forward at least. They're getting an elimination here, an elimination there, and it's actually working out for them. So they're staggering Boise State out a bit here. Here they go, Boise State ready, back at full strength here.
Yeah, the ultimates are definitely where you're going to have to keep an eye out for as Preston opens up with that Primal Rage. Same with Frost using his own duplicate, trying to get that self-destruct online, with Asu even getting hacked, but not the EMP online, and the Pulse Bomb not landing. Preston's going to get the first elimination of this team fight.
Maxwell and Frost also answering that back, putting the Broncos back up to an advantage. Frost off of that copy throws out a Diva Bomb, making some space for the Broncos. Draz is very low on health, almost taken out of that mech, but the Broncos managed to hold SMU for a little while longer. The Broncos are getting ready to defend yet again here.
Yeah, Frost has been able to throw out a lot of early damage on this Echo right now. Oh, and with Preston trying to contest the best he can as this Winston has been able to be really the staple of SMU so far, with Maxwell now engaging with Winston and the Primal Rage, but is going to get EMP'd, landing onto 5 members of Boise State. This team fight is evening out right now.
There goes the Coalescence there out from Moira from SMU. The Broncos answer that back with that Pulse Bomb, which is going to be eaten up by Draz's defense matrix. Great play there by SMU. Boise State's, though, still managing to stop SMU from getting to that second checkpoint. Plato trying to poke in here to try to take out this Winston. Isn't going to do it quite yet.
Yeah, Isu with the rally definitely helped keeping his teammates alive with how long that armor lasts, but it looks like SMU is going to open up with that beat to deny Kel with that my brain's getting fried right now.
Deny Kel with that Graviton Surge. It is a long night indeed, but you wouldn't know that looking at Frost here. Does the copy and the remake onto the Diva there. He's going to get taken out again. Another remake. But look at that from Draz's and that one there, putting a lot of pressure onto Frost and actually pushing the Broncos back again to this second checkpoint. They actually managed to take it, it looks like.
Yeah, with these consistent long drawn-out brawls, it has definitely been more taxing on the Boise State team. Even with the subs, they are just having to constantly brawl rather than have a clean reset and a refresher period. It's just been full stall on the card. Using these pulse bombs, not even landing on a member, has definitely been brutal for Plato so far, but he's been able to get a ton of damage, surviving way longer than he should have, as SMU finally gets the second checkpoint on Dorado with 3 minutes on the board.
Alrighty, we'll see if the Broncos can hold them here in the third and final third of this map. Sleep Dart gets put onto Crypt there. Maxwell trying to defend the point right here, but waiting for a large Vago to respawn, who got picked off by Draz's here. That's actually going to allow Boise State to give up a lot of space here to SMU.
Yeah, SMU has had a lot of that high mobility that we've talked about in the past, not even using a ton of Lucio speed, but these EMPs have been annihilating Boise with that Death Blossom coming out and taking out Frost.
And there goes another Diva Bomb, but isn't going to pick up anybody. Paxo and Plato are able to take out all of the tanks now gone for Southern Methodist University, as well as that one. That is going to be the hold that Boise State was looking for. Now they just got to do that for 2 more minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard hold. At least they have the spawn advantage with Asu and Plato pushing up a little bit further to see if they could get any little poke damage to charge their ultimates that much quicker, as Asu just used that rally as well, so that they could win that team fight and push even that much further. But it looks like AIE is not going to swap over to the McCree from that Reaper, as he got all the value he needed. Same with Gork swapping off over to the May now. Same with Preston now on the Reinhardt, going for the more brawly comp that we've seen so traditionally from Boise as they open up with the sound barrier.
Whoa, and there goes the Graviton Surge in combination with that Death Blossom is going to pay huge dividends for the Broncos. They just have to take out this Moira here after they use the Coalescence there. You're not going to go for the full team wipe there, but a little bit of a stagger to drag this on for a little while longer.
Yeah, Boise State needs to buy as much time as they can without the card advancing any further than it is, so they don't have to worry about that checkpoint. But Southern Methodist now going into this next team fight with no ultimates, and Boise State 100% having the advantage with Max Hull just using that Primal Rage as well. It's going to be on Large Bagel and Frost and Asu with all eyes on him, with the ults getting very close for them. We open up with the hack onto the Diva, but it looks like Plato's going to get the first elimination.
Great job there by Plato taking out Crypt. Boise State is just keeping SMU away from the payload, kind of a wide berth, and trapping them in these hallways here. Just kind of baiting them away from the main goal. Now less than 30 seconds left for SMU. As Plato's just diverting all of their attention into these narrow hallways here. Doing a great job at stalling them.
Yeah, they've just been building ult percentage compared to SMU that hasn't really got one close. Asu's even going to open up with the rally right off the bat, waiting for Frost to get a great EMP and lead into it right as I called it.
And a huge EMP, yeah, huge EMP, 4 people for SMU. Going to be followed up with the Death Blossom there, as well as a Nano Boost onto Maxwell there. That looks like it's going to be all members of SMU taken out by the Broncos. Great job stopping SMU from getting 3 points.
Yeah, once they had that spawn advantage on the third and final point, they were able to dismantle the SMU attack and have perfect counters to the ults that they were throwing up. But after that team stop, they weren't able to build the ult charge in time to have a solid push. So Boise State takes that with only 2 points on the side of SMU. So now with SMU on the defense, it's going to be on the Boise State attack with these team pushes and contesting the high ground. Will they be able to do it this time around, as in the prior match against Northwood, they were not able to? So hopefully on Dorado with this map pick that they are very comfortable with, that we've seen them be successful on in the past, hopefully they're able to do it once again.
Well, we'll see. The Broncos would definitely love to close this out fast, but we still have one more match to get to after this. If the Broncos do get match point, whoever wins this does go to match point, by the way.
Yeah, it is best of 5, so we are going to map number 4 no matter what, because they do have to get to 3, and with each team being at 1. This is definitely possibly a repeat of Northwood going to map 4 and possibly 5, even if SMU is able to pull out all the stops against Boise State. It definitely seemed like they're bringing it back right now and want to prove themselves after that hard loss against Northwood. But all eyes are on the SMU defense, as the Sombre's going for a cheeky play right now.
Yeah, it's just going to try to flank those supports there. We'll see how well that works out. I don't see a hack successfully brought out. There might have just been a bit of scouting. Actually, a Large Bagel there is going to be the first one eliminated. So Boise State now at a disadvantage. Plato trying to rain down some damage from above, but is going to get pressured by that Diva there. Boise State only able to push a little bit out of their spawn here. Really having some trouble getting past these first few feet. See if they can't do anything right here as Gork goes down to half health. Plato also low on health. Needs to heal back up, does indeed. Is now going to try to push onto Drazis. Gets taken out of their mech as Preston also gets eliminated. So those are the tanks gone for SMU with their front line gone. The supports quickly follow that one, and Gork as well as Crypt. Now all is left is AEI, who looks to have successfully run away, which is what Asama can do very well indeed. Oh no, not gonna, there you go.
Right as he tried to go invisible, Plato was there with that Echo. The high mobility of this Echo has definitely been coming in clutch for Boise State with all the rooftops contested, raining down as much damage. You can see why Boise State struggled with the Echo in the past match. So heading into this next team fight, it looks like it's going to open up with this duplicate.
Yeah, the copy going on to Matt. It's going on to the Reinhardt there, but is going to be instantly taken down and focused on by Drazis. Here the rally be brought out by Asu, but it's not going to be enough to protect Frost. But look at the double there from Maxwell, taking out that one, and Preston Kell also picking up one against Gore. Crypt also falling. That is going to be, do we have the first one? Preston respond too fast. We haven't gotten a team wipe, and I want to see the Broncos get at least one team wipe for tonight.
They'll be able to do it, especially in this matchup, as they've been getting so close so many times. They're just off by 1 to 2 seconds on those spawn timers. But going to this next team fight, they definitely have the ult advantage with Preston now swapping back and forth from that Winston and Ryan. So he's just losing that ult percentage he had built up on the Ryan, but now committing back to the monkey that he did very well on the attack, which is how they got as far as they did. But Boise State taking space as they should on the attack with Death, with having almost every ult online as well. But looks like SMU is going to go for the underneath play.
Boise State is using a combination of the Primal Rage and Graviton Surge. Hack is going to go on to 4 members of Boise State in combination with that Diva Bomb. Grass is able to take out Frost and Plato. And there goes the Death Blossom being brought out by Gork. Isn't going to get too many more people. It's going to be the main tanks, mainly for SMU, that have been able to stop the Broncos.
Looks like SMU won't be able to get a team of their own either, as they eliminated Frost so early on. He was able to spawn back in time, but SMU now taking space right up until the spawn of Boise, so now they're going to have to fight right out the gate. At least Frost has this Death Blossom to start this fight off with.
He's going to get a lot of damage focused onto him. Excuse me, that's going to be Crypt, actually, who almost gets taken out. It's going to be Gork, and that one eliminated there. Frost pushing a whole bunch of damage onto Preston right now, gets eliminated, followed by Crypt. Punch to the face is going to finish that off. Boise State is now driving the payload yet again.
Yeah, and they definitely should have at least 2 members on it to reclaim the space that they had before and try to get that checkpoint as quickly as possible, as SMU now has the ult advantage going into the next fight with 2 ready and 3 or all 4 more at 50%, opening up with that Coalescence.
There goes the copy from Plato. He's gonna be able to bring out that Primal Rage very soon here. Now it's gonna focus into SMU. Just trap this poor Reaper, who has to Wraith away but isn't gonna be able to escape, as Maxwell picks up the double on that. Preston, though, also getting one with his Primal Rage. There goes Plato taking out that one. Boise State still at the advantage and pushing forward slowly but surely. That hack gonna go on to 3 members of the Broncos. There goes Plato taking out AEI. Draz is following soon afterwards, followed by Preston. And that is gonna be enough for the Broncos to push, hopefully, to the second checkpoint.
Yeah, SMU's kind of been trickling in ever since that very elongated team fight, essentially. But it looks like they are going to get the checkpoint unless they want to go for the recontest here. Or Plato trying to contest any roamers that SMU might have as the Diva goes for the retest. But Kel with it, his grab is going to be the one you want to watch, as Gork just now gets his Death Blossom online from that kill.
Now SMU managing to, hold the Broncos. It isn't out of the question that they might be able to hold the Broncos here. I mean, Broncos only have a little bit over a minute here, so one good engagement from SMU would kind of be really bad for the Broncos here. They're going to be able to survive, especially with that rally brought out by Asu, as Gork is eliminated. Draz is taken out of their mech. That one now quickly focused down afterwards. Boise State gets to the last part of this map.
60 seconds.
Yeah, that rally definitely leading the charge for that fight, as they were able to get 2 early eliminations in that fight and clear that second checkpoint. So going into this third one with the closed space, Plato on this Echo is going to have a bit of a harder time, so SMU will be able to hopefully eliminate him a bit more consistently. But Boise State does have 3 ults online. It's going to open up with the grab.
But it's kind of going to be negated a little bit, negated by SMU with the survivability from that beaten Coalescence. Frost using that Death Blossom only to take out Crypt there. Now a lot of damage being put out by Frost here. It's onto that Reaper, tries to Death Blossom, isn't going to be able to do it. SMU is being taken out one after the other. Boise State had a huge advantage. That Remac isn't going to be able to go through, despite Preston using this Primal Rage to take out a large bagel. Boise State still is pushing the payload forward. They don't have to get it to the final point. Just about halfway there, and they are almost there.
Yeah, I'm surprised SMU decides to stick with this Diva, as they have not been able to eat as many ults as you want to see from a Diva. So I definitely like the BSU Zarya play instead. It definitely allows for more brawling, as how consistent it has been through this matchup against Boise State. So the Zarya is definitely getting a lot more value, I think, than the Diva. We haven't seen any big self-destructs either, as it's now coming online for SMU. But Boise State having that Primal Rage and Duplicate, they could definitely open up with it, while Frost charges up that Death Blossom as well. So heading into this next team fight, definitely want to keep an eye on those 3 players for Boise State, as well as the Diva for SMU.
Plato using the copy there is going to be able to charge up at Primal Rage, pushing SMU away from the payload. That's a double by Frost, also kind of sealing it for the Broncos, getting the win there and moving on to their match point.
Boise State definitely played that much tighter, especially with the brawl comp. I will touch on this again. The Zario definitely made the difference compared to the Diva of Southern Methodist. Got the play of the game as well. So Cal proving why he was player of the game last match.
Well, the Idaho Army National Guard is a proud supporter of Boise State Esports, and they invite you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Well, we will take a very short break and be back with the fourth match. It's going to be Assault, Boise State at match point. Can they close this out against SMU? We'll find out after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back to the very smoky Boise State Game Pass Esports Arena. We are currently in the middle of a NACE Overwatch match against Southern Methodist University. I'm still your host, Jacob Jem Palmer. Joining me, wishing very, very much for an oxygen mask right now, is Brenner Bearlad. Brenner, we have been suffering through all of the smoke, but it looks like it's going to be for a great cause because the Broncos are just about to win this. They have one more round to go in Assault to tie this up.
Yeah, and finishing on Assault is definitely what everyone loves to see, as it is such a fair and balanced mode and doesn't have any snowballing capabilities whatsoever. So heading into Temple of Anubis, as is the map pick for every Assault that we've seen. Except for Volskaya. We love Volskaya. Volskaya was a ton of fun last game. So I'm actually curious what map they do end up choosing with, as we've seen
Paris!
We don't want to see Paris. Get out of here. We're going back to Volskaya.
You know, I was just thinking about that. You know, Riot took Icebox and fixed it. Now it's one of everyone's favorite map. You know, people can, Vertigo in CSGO, people still hate it, but at least Valve has tried to make some changes for it. I just like how if there's an unpopular map, it seems every other company tries to change it. Blizzard just locked up Paris and threw away the key and forgot that they ever made that. So it's just, hopefully it can find a little bit, well, no, I was going to say hopefully it can find a second life, but it's not going to be since Assault is being gone. So it is just gone, abandoned, frozen in time, much like the architecture here in Volskaya, and we are ready to head into this next match.
Yeah, maybe if we're lucky, we might see Horizon Lunar Colony maybe once, just for some cheeky fun plays. I got my Route 66, so can't complain about any maps anymore. So we open up on the attack for SMU, and the defense from Boise State. Seems they're going to go for the high ground play off to the side with Frost on the Hanzo over by himself, but he's able to quickly close the distance. SMU also bringing out the Sombra for some cheeky hacking plays as well.
All right, Southern Methodist University trying to use a bit of a teleport with that Reaper there to try to get up to the high ground to force Boise State off, but it's not really going to work as Drasus gets taken out of their mech. That one also eliminated. And there goes Boise State just doing a complete avalanche of eliminations. Only AEI is able to escape.
Boise definitely holding Volskaya much better than they did against Northwood with that high ground play and much higher DPS team comp this time around with the Orisa Sig, Soldier, Hanzo, Bap, and Zenyatta play. SMU kind of sticking to what they know with the Sombra Preston sticking to that Monkey as well. He's been very good on it and did not stick to the Rhine very long last match as he jumps right on top of Boise State.
There goes Frost with a double there. Bit of a cheeky boop there onto Plato, who's going to push him off the edge of the map. There goes Kel with another double, and Crypt is taken out as well, but AEI, just like the turd in the punch bowl, prevents Boise State yet again from getting the team wipe, which I just want to see once. But
we'll give it to them ourselves because they've definitely done it. They just are always off 1 to 2 seconds for those spawns to get the official. Well, we see the same thing in other games where the spawn timer is just 1 second ahead of you and you just barely miss it out. Oh, but we know Boise State has the capabilities and have done it in the past. So it looks like SMU is going to go for the long play around over where Frost has usually been set up, but they're just going to constantly take damage from this double shield comp of Boise State right now, especially with the Soldier and Hanzo burning down any shields that they have. Even the amplification matrix coming out from Asu.
well, they're just kind of sniping. They don't want to even exit that room. Boise State's just pushing so much punishment down into that doorway. They really can't exit as AEI gets eliminated, followed by Gork. Preston is going to bring out that Primal Rage, try to get some sort of presence on the point. Isn't going to work there as Plato brings out his visor, taking out that one. There goes Crypt as well. And yet again, that's going to be Boise State taking out just about all the members of SMU.
This poor baby diva is going to get stalled out for her entire lifespan. Doesn't even get a suicide off the edge as Ace, who gets the elimination right at the end. So SMU is going to have to get stalled out for even more time with now only a minute remaining for them. They will have the Diva Bomb for this up and coming, possibly final fight unless they get wiped super quickly. Gork going back over to the Reaper for some Crumpin. No one will get that reference, but I'm going to make it anyway. That is Warhammer for you for some orcs. Gork is a god. So, going into this, we will definitely have to keep an eye on this Diva as she gets an early elimination on the shows.
There goes a lot of damage pushed onto Preston as well from Frost, just sniping down from above. Job takes out Crypt as well as Preston going. Drasus isn't going to pick up anything with that Diva Bomb. And now there's only about 20 seconds left for them to make any sort of tick. I don't think it's really going to happen, though. They're just, oh no, this Diva again just is caught out and doesn't know where to go.
I feel like it's always the Diva getting stalled out because she has essentially the two life bars, the baby Diva and the full Diva. She's always going to be the one just stalled out. She's never eliminated first, even as a tank. So always feel bad for Diva players getting stalled out, but it looks like they are going to do one more team fight as Frost opens up with the double dragons.
Yeah, the Dragons aren't really going to pick up any, but oh my goodness, is SMU actually taking out Boise State? Well, with that Gravitic Flux, okay, Boise State manages to fight it back, taking out AEI and Gork. Drasus, though, doing great work, taking out Asu. Kel answers that back, eliminating that one. Now Crypt gone, so SMU is going to have no more support. There you go. I kind of like how the Broncos are thinking. They just want to end this right away.
Yeah, they held the high ground, and SMU was not able to really contest it. We saw Preston always jump up there really early on and just get completely annihilated. I'm surprised SMU didn't want to go for something like a Baptiste rather than the Moira and Lucio. If you're going to go more of a speedy comp, you want to speed on top of them, but they never went for like the behind stairs play. definitely questioning the attack struts of SMU as they've gone for long way all the way around and they were just completely stalled out by ASU's amplification matrix. They went for jump right on top of you, but it was only ever Preston by himself, so he was eliminated very quickly. SMU definitely not having the strategies to attack the Boise State high ground defense.
There we move on. Just a little bit of showcasing from our observer here. Just getting all those are really cool robots.
Those mechs were the worst to deal with in Heroes of the Storm. They were so overpowered. They could root you with the claw, and then they went for the double punt. Oh, it was brutal, man.
Well,
but if you had that gray main, you could burn him right down. As we talk about a totally different game, it's fine. If Beartail was here with me, he'd be all in it right now.
Oh, yeah, yes, I know. As the night goes on, we're just moving on to referencing every single other game than the one that's actually on the stage right now.
We're buying time. We're waiting for it to happen as Boise State's going for the early push with the Echo, but SMU with their Sombra all the way out by Boise's spawn. Try to get a cheeky play, but I believe she was eliminated almost immediately. She was able to get the hack off and even retreat with the teleporter as it's just early damage being exchanged from both sides as now Gob is in here tanking on the Wrecking Ball. Boise State have yet to get an elimination but are able to get the mech out.
That's great play by ASU there. Diva gone for SMU. They're going to push this Lucio off the point as well. Very low on health, still managing to survive just a little bit, but Gob is going to take him out. Frost gets eliminated by Preston, but overall the Broncos have such a strong presence on the point that I think they are going to be able to do this. The Discord orb focusing down Preston. AEI also eliminated by Cal. That is most likely going to do it for the Broncos as well. It's late.
It is the victory for Boise State on map 4 against Southern Methodist University. The best way you want to end it after such a hard-fought first game against Northwood. Cal gets play of the game on the Sigma, no less, but Boise State has had a long night, and so have we with these best-of-5 matches going to map number 4, which is not what we're accustomed to.
Well, there we go. Boise State winning that match against Southern Methodist University, recovering a bit for the night and ending it much like they did last week too, with 1 win and 1 loss. They are going to cement their position in the top of the bracket for NACE. We're going to see how they do in the future. Moving on. Well, as you can see, Brenner, going it alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, if you want to improve your chances of success, you want to get matched up with a great team, and Esports Tower does a great job at that. You can score pro advice at esportstower.com, improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. All right, do you have any final thoughts and a final player of the game for this particular match?
So for this final match, we saw a lot of people swapping in and out. So I'm definitely going to give it to the one player who stuck through it all and never got subbed out. So personal favorite of ASU on that support role. We saw him on the Brig and the Baptiste, just holding back the team the best he can and leading the charge with that Brig as well. He was in that 3v6 and had to weather that storm and then went on to play all 4 matches. So he is my personal choice for that, as we gave it to Kel in the first match of the night.
Well, sometimes we just see the same player get it again and again and again, so I certainly wouldn't be surprised if it was Kel again. But we're just going to find out who the second ICCU player of the game is shortly. And overall, a great job for the Broncos, and the player of the game is going to actually be Plato, I think. I suppose. Oh yeah, he was on the
Yeah, he was DPS. Where normally just seem tanks, and so with the subs coming in, everyone loves swapping roles and throws everyone off.
Yeah, he did a great job though. And the ICCU Play of the Game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Plato is your ICCU Player of the Game.
Yeah, he was fantastic on that DPS role we saw there with the Reaper. Double kill from the Blossom. Same with the Soldier plays, just able to deny them from getting any mobility onto the point. And his own mobility of the sprint just constantly throwing for a loop. Plato, well-deserved player of the game. Both tanks tonight getting player of the game.
Well, great job for Plato. That is not all that we have tonight, though. Luckily, it's all for you, Brenner. You can go and take a nap. But I have got to interview our very own Doc Haskell. We will have a press conference right after this, so please stay tuned, and we'll get word from Doc about what's going on in the esports world. For now, though, enjoy your night and enjoy the top 5 plays of the game from the last match.
As he got all the value he needed. Same with Gork swapping off over to the May now. Same with Preston now on the Reinhardt, going for the more brawly comp that we've seen so traditionally from Boise as they open up with the sound barrier.
Whoa, and there goes the Graviton Surge in combination with that Death Blossom is going to pay a huge dick as Preston also gets eliminated. So those are the tanks gone for SMU with their frontline gone. The supports quickly follow that one and Gork as well as Crypt. Now all is left is AEI, who looks to have successfully run away, which is what it sounds like to do very well indeed. Oh no, not gonna, there you go.
Right as he tries to
though, also getting one with his Primal Rage. There goes Plato taking out that one. Boise State still at the advantage and pushing forward slowly but surely. That hack gonna go on to 3 members of the Broncos. There's Plato taking out AEI. Drass is following soon afterwards, followed by Preston. And that is going to be enough for the Broncos to push, hopefully, to SMU with the survivability from that beat coalescence. Frost using that Death Blossom only to take out Crypt there. Now a lot of damage being put out by Frost here. It's on to that Reaper, tries to Death Blossom, isn't going to be able to do it. SMU is being taken out one after the other. Boise State had
an eye on those 3 players for Boise State, as well as the Diva for SMU.
Plato using the copy there is going to be able to charge up at Primal Rage, pushing SMU away from the payload. That's a double by Frost, also kind of sealing it for the Broncos, getting the win there. Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Game Pants Arena. We are here with our post-game press conference with our own Doc Haskell. Doc, it has been quite a night. You can see the whole Overwatch team getting ready to head home, and they certainly had some interesting circumstances that they had to deal with, starting with their match against Southern Methodist University. We were talking a little bit about that had to start with 3v6, but you have the whole kind of behind-the-scenes look, so tell us what was going on.
So we had to, SMU is fantastic. They gave us the allotted amount of time that the rule book gives you. They do have other things going on there. They got to start the game. They can't wait till we're done with the previous one. So we had 3 of our players that weren't in the Northwood game. We lobbied up with those folks. We said, all right, we're gonna go as long as we can. And Nerdy, Asu, and Frost, their instructions were string these out as long as they can, get as many overtimes as you can in this, and give us as much time as you can so we can get finished with one and get into the other.
And how overall successful were they?
They were really good. They played great. I mean, 3v6, they're going to lose those over time, but they got some great elims. They got some really good stalls. It was great. We're really happy with it.
Well, on to kind of the big one of the night, which was against Northwood. The Broncos put up a huge performance, and it was great that we got a little bit of a chance to talk with Northwood as well, having that relationship between the programs.
Yeah, no kidding. And honestly, we've been waiting for this match for a while. We Northwood's one of the big kids. Obviously, they're a favorite on just about everybody's big list, and we wanted to test ourselves against them. We've been waiting for these big matches, and it did not disappoint. We were able to take a map off of them. We should have taken at least 2 maps off of them, but this is first of many meetups between these 2 schools over the next few years. So we hope that we're going to get them swinging back and forth like you would expect.
Well, overall, I'm going to kind of end it on this note, and that is this huge Halloween party. We have been selling it so much ourselves here on the desk, but you give us an insight and sell it to everyone watching why they should sign up for this.
Well, honestly, and the spots are filling up. So if you haven't signed, if you don't sign up probably tonight, tomorrow, it's going to be a minute. You probably won't be able to get in. We're going to run a ton of different games. It's going to be a big party. Idaho Army National Guard doing an amazing job providing food and even more prizes. We hit their basically our level of attendees to get even more prizing. There's so much that people are going to walk away with. It's just going to be awesome. Costume contest, tons of themed games. I understand there may be a game show.
Yes, there just very might be. So
yeah, love it.
You're not going to want to miss that.
Nope. Honestly, very proud of the group for all the work they've done getting this ready. And I think it's gonna go so well. Really excited about it.
Well, you're just going to have to watch us Saturday and see what is happening. It is going to be a lot of fun. But overall, I want to thank you for joining us, Doc. Thank you so much for giving us some insight, and we look forward to a lot of good games in the future. For now, though, that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you for watching Boise State Esports, and we hope you have a good night and stay safe.